Guys ready?
A lot more Elsa bans.
Chat.
We saw a lot more
Elsa ban.
Seems like
Yes or no?
we are shimmying back over towards the Elsa ban to try and control some of these mega duelists like Terra and keep
Sorry,
them
I
away
get so
from
I
the,
get
the
I
Thanos
like
era.
something in
Yeah,
me
both teams have that
just
top
fires up
Terra
and wakes
Slop
up
is gonna be
when
the
I
thing
see an
to
Elsa ban
watch,
first.
also
I love it.
There's styles around
Hey,
the duelists. Sloppo's
notice
a lot
how
more
these
flank heavy.
teams,
Terra
you know,
really goes in with the
obviously
team,
Navi has, you
and
know,
the Invis
Terra,
is the
great
first
fucking
protect, which
DPS
is
player, but guess what?
not
They
something
put
you
their
see every
egos
day.
aside
This might
and they still ban Elsa.
Strange ban from Navi. Like we saw that Fire. It seems that a lot of their identity in week 2 coalesced around Black So being so good on that boosted up Doctor Strange, courtesy of that Sonic Vortex team up, which really buffs the E. Which is a very short cooldown as well, only 6 seconds. I would not be surprised to see Navi roll out with a Doctor Strange ban, maybe deeper into their ban phase here, but they have a one-sided Gambit, which means they're probably going to be able to pull off a 2-2-2.
I would think the Mantis would be a bigger prio for someone like Sloppo, but we'll see.
Oh, the
how everything
Invis save instead of the
turns out. This was
Gambit. That's
another
what's
match
very
that
interesting.
that
I like that.
if
Chat, what are you
there
guys'
could be
thoughts?
another upset besides the Shikigami match, it could be
No,
this one. Just
both
'cause
teams do
Navi
not
have
get 6 bans. There's 2
shown
saves
that there's
and
cracks
4
in the
bans.
armor, and I'll
But
just
you
put
get
it
you
that
ban
way.
for the
While
other
FYRSTRAYS
team, you don't
have
ban for your
started to
team.
really
So
find
for an
their
example,
groove
this
towards
team
the
banned
end of the
Loki.
matches,
This
being
that means
competitive
this
against the
team
top,
over here
but
can't play
still not
Loki,
winning a
but
map
this team
against
can
the
still
top.
play Loki.
So this
But
is
you
the map
cannot
where- or
save
this
a
is the
character that's
series where
already banned. You
FYRSTRAYS
gotta
have
save
to
it
prove
before it
themselves
gets
that they
banned.
can contend.
All right, one-sided Vanguard pool coming out now. The FYRSTRAYS, how do they answer this? This is going to be another strategist gone. Okay, yeah, getting rid of a rogue makes a lot of sense. You do not want to see that rogue buoyed up by the Gambit team up. And it seems like FYRSTRAYS, they have been chasing a lot when it comes to this ban draft. Like, after Gambit gets into the pool, you're like, oh, we got to get rid of a Loki. We got to get rid of a rogue. We got to try and get rid of, like, a viable second strategist option to try and force them onto maybe a triple strat here. Navi contemplating getting rid of the Loki to make sure there's none of that vibrant vitality from Mantis, and looks like that's where they're going to go.
Remember that there's tape about FYRSTRAYS on this map, but it was the very first match of the preseason, which you can't really take much from that, because FYRSTRAYS, I feel like, are a
I don't think
like,
you can do that in
180
comp.
team
I think
compared to how they started
Chat,
the season or the preseason.
take it as a
I should
person
say.
who
While
used to play
Navi
professional.
Haven't been on Burden T'Challa, surprisingly,
And I'm
so
pretty sure
there's
anyone
so
in my
much yet
chat
to
can also,
discover,
who
which I
has
think
played
could give
professional, can
Navi
vouch for
maybe an
this.
edge in this pick.
Your ranked games, which is random teammates, random everything, is very different from coordinated team gameplay in Marvel Rivals. It is very different. Very, very different. In ranked, no one gives a shit.
So it's kind of looking at
In ranked, you're going to get those people who are like, hey guys, I'm the best Spider-Man in the world. Don't ban Spider-Man. Hey, the other team that has a Spider-Man one trick though. No, I'm better than him. And then he goes 0 and 15 and you're like, what the fuck? You said he was better than you. You were better than him. And then he's saying GG no heals. Like, you're not going to get that in your coordinated team play.
Like everyone else last. Ready to roll out here at the beginning of Interstellar Spaceport.
Okay, let's see this.
And trust me on the Venom. Would have loved to see Binary on that as well. He's a fantastic Venom player.
Let's see this.
but
I'm
as
ready
of
for this,
late,
man.
it's
I'm
been
ready for
more
this.
of the Hulk, that style change from FYRSTRAYS, and oh, the teleport caught Jerky completely off guard.
Oh man, catching Jerky, didn't see that one. One of the interesting things about the portal as Daredevil is because the people are technically so far away, you can't see through the portal with your wall. Which means that Jerky was a little bit on the back foot there, and FYRSTRAYS going to get that initial capture here as well. We talked about how important this is for Navi to play from that defensive posture. CC, trust me, still trying to make a play to try and keep this one contested. Binary is just chasing after them. We talked about how previously Navi had struggled against that Hulk, but Jerky has no such struggles in his mind going up against the...
Oh, he didn't get that kill? Wow, that Daredevil lived with 1 health? Also, giving Terra Star-Lord and also letting them save Gambit to have the Star-Lord Gambit chat, that is not good.
Like, I want to go back to bed. I want Sloppo on Star-Lord and was setting that
I like
up.
that.
This is a very different look. A Demon will be that solo duelist, and you have a strat pool. That was something Alex from another team was kind of sporting, and that innovation is going to help that deathball of FYRSTRAYS, but Navi will be holding.
I'm surprised Daredevil didn't get nerfed for season 7.5. Why would you nerf Daredevil for season 7.5 and make him strong when you could just nerf the CC abilities and whatnot so Dive can be stronger? Chat, why?
little bit too far away, and then it's easy for the remainder of follow-up to come on through here from Na'Vi. Looking
he just like dipped. He dipped and ran off the map, bro.
And for one of the first ultimates to come out to be a galactic legend, like
that's
Terran
funny, bro. They kind of just dipped.
When it comes to these important matches, Na'Vi have been dominant against every other team but Heretics, and I was wondering how much they were preparing for deeper into the bracket, or how much Na'Vi were going to give respect to all the teams that come in between them and the grand finals that they're obviously gunning for. And Terra,
I love Hulk, man. I love Hulk.
Difference. Now, FYRSTRAYS, they were kind of changing things up. Now they have their first cycle of ultimates, and you'll also have some environmental eliminations that could come out from the It's Jeff, but Crook could be a victim here.
You act like Dive has been strong for 7 seasons straight, unlike Bucky. If you think Bucky has been strong the past few seasons with his 42% win rate, then I don't know what you're smoking, but please share with the class, because that shit apparently is working. Please.
Releases his fellow Vanguard from the jaws of Jeff, and now Blacktoe's looking for an ascension here, looking for a quick stun. On the other side, it would appear that Rajro has used a bat hammer. It might well have been onto the Jeff, just forcing Sloppo away for a second. Still Na'Vi are in control.
God forbid there's a character in the game that counters Dive, chat, and they just made the character even worse.
This is the last fight before 100-0 for Navi, and Terra has the Galactic Legend if he even wants to invest this, but against the invisible boundary, he'll have to take a seat. FYRSTRAYS, even with that straddle, still haven't flipped.
All right, one last attempt here, coming through from Snow.
Oh, Venom. That's very interesting. The Venom... The Venom and Star-Lord combo. I like that, because you're getting the anti-healing, and they did use... They did use the Deadpool supportal, and they killed right through it. Oh, poor guy. Poor guy was all the way in the enemy team's backline, beating up the shark, but his whole team was dead and no one was on the point, bro.
Exclamation mark.
Virtus Pro plays next.
100-0 from Navi in a fight that looked so winnable for FYRSTRAYS. The invisible boundary. There was an endless stall from Navi, just sending the single Vanguard to deny the flip from FYRSTRAYS, who had such a good composition. They were so mobile. FYRSTRAYS were jumping on Navi's backline.
What's up, Jay? Hope you had a great stream so far. Oh, I love doing watch parties, bro. Watch parties with you guys are a lot of fun. It is definitely a fun vibe.
Signs of really good composure. Of course, it is.
I feel like you guys for once. When I watch pro plays, I feel like you guys. I just laugh at all the mistakes and like shit talk. This is how you guys feel 24/7. This is fun.
As soon as you lose that first fight on domination and you can't lock down these targets, eventually it was gonna go the 99% mark, but. First fight, very important. We'll see if Blackstone wants to go for a teleport play or a portal play like FYRSTRAYS did last time.
Yeah, but you're even worse. How about you eat my ass like a cupcake? Thoughts?
See where they end up to this time.
Jerky is prepared to let the devil out. Question is who they're going after. Seems like there's a little bit more of a passive play. Maybe not to try and cut off someone from Na'Vi, but you know what? Trust me, it's more than happy to just jump into there with a cellular corrosion. The devil ready to be let on out, but guess what? Big bubbles, indestructible guard coming through from the Hulk, just rebuffs Jerky instantly. And now FYRSTRAYS down on one of their doors. Don't want to go much
I'm pretty sure Hulk players are mad for next season too with the CC changes, but
there isn't really any follow-up that could come through. FYRSTRAYS were too far back, focusing on capping the point instead, and now it has to be this rear guard.
Hey, appreciate it, Starry. Always look forward to your watch parties, Britt. Thank you, thank you. They're a lot of fun, man. They're a lot of fun.
So many as they're just chopped on down. It's a fox steak for Trust Me, and they're chewing on through. Behind Fist joining them. That's going to be Snoss down as well. Raja up close and personal.
Ooh, nice plays by Rajaro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, this is why this character is getting a change,
yeah,
chat.
You guys are all fully awake for this one, right? Iron Fist in Spider-Man. We got a photo shoot with Rajaro. Like, Navi's
also, we are seeing the Spider-Man. That's funny.
FYRSTRAYS are putting Sloppo back on the duelist. Demon will be on that triple strategist, of course, with the strat pool, which is huge aura plays from Snoss, but not a hero we see him on every day. FYRSTRAYS losing that first fight. It's going to be tough to really win this out cleanly, so Navi could build up a serious lead, and Fate could take them all away with the It's Jeff.
It's Jeff, ready to try and find themselves a snack. Speaking of snacks, isolated closer. Don't know how they ended up there with no healing at
The
all.
Iron
And the
Fist
DD
too.
comes
Oh, I
through
love this.
From Fate on with Jeff. Needs to try and dodge some of this incoming fire, but it's difficult against the Hulk. Terror and Fate fall down to the gamma collapse of the man himself. And now when it comes to trying to control this point, it's all about, trust me, climbing around on this center pillar before it breaks and the guards of the Imperial Institute of Science rise on out. Level 1 Crook needs to dodge away. Will there be enough chase?
Oh,
here?
yeah,
Also,
he's
with
dead.
3 players on top of the Gambit.
Somehow they're
It's
still
unlikely to get
stalling.
away,
Oh,
even with the
Rojaro
value
stalling the point.
fetch.
Oh,
Now
they have a
Navi
lot of
is
people
gonna
here
get
to
this
stall the
last
point. See,
second
this is
contest
why
coming
you
through
stall the
from
point,
the
chat. Die
Vanguard
on
for a
point.
flip in favor of Fire.
You guys don't understand how strong it is
I
if you
like
just
that it's
die
Jeff
on
ultimate
point. Don't
from
run
Fate,
away. Don't
but
try
he
to
didn't even
live.
try
Die
to
on
escape
point.
from the Galactic Legend from Sloppo. Like, he knows it's aimbot, right? Like, Fate kind of just stood there and was a sitting duck, and that freed the rest of FYRSTRAYS, and Navi got absolutely ruined by Sloppo. So a good flip for FYRSTRAYS at this point, and 3 strat ultimates to try and stall this out and get back into the lead. But Terra has been a menace on this Iron Fist. He is focused on these strats.
Prepare to unleash the dragon. Has so many targets together to try and deal with it. Damon's going to try and rebuff them now by unleashing the Kumiho. But remember, that's got 900 HP, and Terra does percentage-based damage. Watching from afar, Terra falling so low. The invisible boundary means that Terra can't escape. For slow is too much to deal with. The Feast of the Abyss takes down Closer, cancels out the ultimate after it was given the damage boost by the Wayward Gambit.
I really want to know
Now,
why
Sloppo
are they
is
running
trying to
this,
keep this point
okay,
contested,
Jerky
almost
switched,
as a
which is
full
good,
combo.
but I don't know why they're running the, I think they're just messing around with them, chat. I don't think Navi's taking this seriously.
Level 1 Crook under threat, but manages to outduel both Sloppo and de-Hulk the Hulk down into Bruce Banner form.
And FYRSTRAYS are doing a good job of saving their cooldowns for these divers, namely the White Fox Charm for Terra. You're forcing Jerky back to the Daredevil, someone who can anchor better in and stay consistently in a fight versus a Spider-Man that uses all his cooldowns and has to leave pretty much immediately. So you got this brawl duo of Terra and Jerky. I really like this composition. Binary at big ultimate, but
I
you
know
just see an
Terra
eye
usually
up on
plays
from
fist,
Black
chat, but
Silk.
he
No
usually whips out
portal play
the
from
Iron Fist,
FYRSTRAYS,
like,
and they need to touch soon.
All right, definitely
like when
when
things are going bad. Like he literally rolled last round. Okay, he's rolling right now, but he literally rolled last round on Star-Lord, and he also has the Gambit Star-Lord combo.
Yeah, Binary can temporarily stall out this point, but it's easily eaten out by Fate. Jerky following over onto Znost.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works. I do think there is a team differential here between Navi and FYRSTRAYS. I think Navi should go 3-0 against FYRSTRAYS.
Navi we're cooking. They were in the kitchen coming up with all these different compositions. Yes, that was the real Jerky Spider-Man that you got to witness, which was fun on such an open map like the Imperial Science Center, because there's so much open space and barely any cover, and Spider-Man takes so much advantage of that. But trying to get after the strategist, you have an invis double jump, you have a charm from the White Fox. There was so much to deter the Spider-Man. And I like that Jerky.
I think Terra and Jerky is a nasty DPS duo.
A lot better. And taking a look at these stats, you can
no,
tell
this
that
is the
these
third match
strategists
of the
from
day.
FYRSTRAYS
After this one, you have
side
one more
were really
EMEA
suffering,
match,
having the
and
most
then we
amount of
go
deaths
into
compared to
NA.
everyone else.
NA is
And
going to be a lot of
FYRSTRAYS
fun.
were also organizing who was going to be their duelist. This is Sloppo, which I can't believe I even saw him on Jeff. That is a waste of talent. And then, you know, him and Demon kind of swapping up who was going to be.
How can there be a big
duelist.
skill
I
gap
like that they
between
ended up on
pros?
this composition. They tried their best
Team
to
chemistry
peel against the divers, but Navi are so
I mean, you could
suffocating
say
to
the
go
same
up
thing
against.
about any sport, right? There's NBA matches where like one NBA team is so much better than another NBA team, or any sport. I just used NBA for an example. Some teams are just better in general with individual skill, and not only individual skill, but even team skill. Also, Navi has been together for a very long time. I do think they picked up a few players that are new, but I mean, their core is still really strong.
Navi just have been really strong in these first fights. Which
J3, you're
get up
talking
to
out of your ass.
99% and make kind of all,
No, I am not. I did
for
not have
FYRSTRAYS
Taco
to play
Bell
for
or
all the
Chipotle
marbles
today, so
at
my
the
ass
end,
is
it
not
was
talking.
Pretty insane. I think FYRSTRAYS had the right game plan for their composition initially on Stellar Spaceport with the Hulk to kind of jump in. Instead of the Venom, Hulk is not as cooldown dependent. He can be a lot more mobile, but maybe not as explosive as a Venom can be. So FYRSTRAYS were trying to find that consistency, just unfortunately couldn't really lock down these Navi strategists.
Yeah, and it seems that the first protect on the invis, and it's pretty good if you want to try and make sure that Black Soul can keep rolling forward with the Doctor Strange, but it's no match for a Gambit, which means you can run that double strategist very effectively and let Terror and Jerky off a leash, to be fair. And we'll see if Navi are going
Why is Leg Day mad? Chat, Leg Day is not mad, bro. That's just his... That's just his face. Stop. Why are you guys so mean, man?
Good fortune for me.
Come on, man.
Cat's claws. Me. Ouch. Let's make a deal.
Like how Jay's resting voice is a shouty voice. Yes, I am a very loud person. When everyone could vouch for this. When I have headphones on, I can't control the level of my volume, so I'm screaming most of the time. Not my fault. Also, the game, I play with the game, listen, I play with my game sound fairly loud. You know why? Because there's a lot of information that you get from your senses, chat. Your ears give you a lot of information. You can hear footsteps. You can hear abilities used. If you hear footsteps, you'll be like, okay, there's an enemy over there. If you hear an ability used, be like, oh, okay, they use this ability. Now it's an easier way to dive. Oh, they use this ult. I hear them use this ult. That means hide. Like, come on. Bro, there's a lot of information that you get from your senses, chat. Smell, like right here. You could probably smell something cooking over here. You could probably taste as well. You also use your eyes. Come on. Boba. I can't believe they put Boba in the game. Look at Boba. Man, I wish they came out with a smell-o-vision so you guys can actually smell through your screen, bro. Ooh, I would give you guys some awakenings. Ooh. I really do hope in the future they got smell-o-vision. So when someone complains in my chat, I was just, you know what I'm saying? Rip one right in the mic.
Watch out, they're headed our way! Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Hey, all I'm saying, chat, all I'm saying is that you guys should appreciate someone's farts, because there was a streamer who actually went to the hospital once because they were selling jars of their farts, and it was so popular in demand that they had to go to the hospital.
Like
they were charging like I think $1,000 per fart jar. So hey, and it was high demand. So can you imagine that?
I'm not gonna lie, Navi looking very hot.
I think they went to the hospital because of like the bloating in their stomach, but they went to the hospital because their diet consisted of beans and protein shakes.
A long time before Terra was added to this squad, and showing that with a Daredevil in his hands, he is still a very tricky customer to try and deal with.
Can't be stopped. The devil was unleashed many times across the battlefield there. And Lemon, it felt like this team of FYRSTRAYS, you know, they talked about it when they were going up against VP, like to have these exotic compositions. They took some notes from Heretics, but experimented on their own, having the Invisible Woman and the Doctor Strange. It just felt like it wasn't enough of a synergistic composition for this specific roster.
How much you charging for a friend?
Yeah,
well, technically speaking, I do owe Chocolate a jar of bathwater for 100 gifted. So
Star-Lord and Slop will start off on Jeff, which you're already just almost changing too much if you're FYRSTRAYS. Like, what works for you?
How do you know this? I'm a streamer, bro. I talk to you guys. A lot of you guys just come and tell me random stuff, and that was one of the stuff.
Kind of just changing who your main carry is or who you're trying to amplify in playoffs. When I felt like FYRSTRAYS really found their footing towards the end of this match is really surprising. I did like the whole
Jay, you're saying all this nonsense right in front of my barbecue sandwich? Really oh, it's not nonsense. I'm being dead ass. Someone actually did used to sell their farts and they go into the hospital. $1,000 per fart jar. I'm not joking.
I think Trust Me almost had top damage in the lobby with the Venom. So this is how impactful Trust Me is as a Vanguard.
I mean, this Vanguard line cannot be understated, like Day on Navi. It just seems like they are able to create so much space, distract the back line, make it so difficult for them to even focus on the rest of their team. I mean, part of the reason why we saw so many KOs against that back line felt like it was because Rajaro and Trust Me here.
Like, Trust Me just has great timing when it comes to the, like, cellular corrosion alongside things like the Feast of the Abyss, but also the Feast of the Abyss gets mighty fine when you boost up with the Raging Royal Flush that they had constant access to. It will just one tap. But it feels like Rajaro in the neutral is just so accurate with the Dual Desert Eagles that
A Christy Lou for 7 months.
Like, if you allow
Absolutely
Rajaro
insane.
access to
Appreciate
that
it.
hero, I think that's one of the reasons why we saw Closar go down so much, because
There wasn't even a
poke
per
that
chat. You guys
happens
must have heard
before
about the
Trust Me
person who was
goes in
selling
is
their
all down
bath
to
water, right?
Rajara's
So I mean,
accuracy.
same
The man doesn't
thing,
really
bro.
miss.
I mean, yeah, has the training from the Mag days is what we come to expect with this hero specifically. But Museum of Contemplation, I, Lemon, am kind of shocked that we're going to this one. Museum was one of the maps where eventually we saw, I think it was Terra on Black Panther.
I'm gonna sell
towards
the remaining
end of
hair on
one
my
of their
head,
earlier
bro.
series
I
in
feel
the
like that is a limited
pre-season
edition
group
because it ain't
just
gonna grow
because they were
back, chat.
holding
One
so hard.
strand, $100.
Yeah, and to note that I don't think Cestroid has been subbed in, which is another note, because when this team likes to go to more open maps, usually they've picked something like Hall of Dajalia, which I think I would compare to the amount of space on Hall of Dajalia to Museum of Contemplation to really go behind this binary dive on the Venom, which they've gone now more towards the Hulk these days. But if you want to take advantage of a longer and like further away dive, then the Venom would be key here on Museum. So I'm expecting the binary Venom, but Cestroid was part of
Only
kind of taking
100? What do
advantage
you
of
mean
these
only
more open
100? Oh
maps by
shit, my
playing
bad,
the
chat. I
Out,
didn't know
playing
you
the
guys would spend
Ultron,
more
and
money.
being part
Yo,
of
selling
the
one
damage
strand of
boost
J3
basket.
hair,
So the fact that he's not in tells me there's
$500.
more changes coming in from the FYRSTRAYS camp.
They're trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink in terms of compositions at this team and see what sticks. And maybe Museum of Contemplation is the way to do it, more of a dive-centric map. But like it feels like this also just favors Navi so much, especially because of how heavily they are favored in terms of Venom specifically. I feel like Terra does a really good job on that Star-Lord if the Elsa isn't available. Like, what do you think is the thought process here for this team of FYRSTRAYS trying to go to this map as their counter pick?
I mean, I'm a little bit suspicious of FYRSTRAYS right now. I can't help but notice that they essentially stole Heretic's composition but beat Navi for domination, when we hadn't really seen FYRSTRAYS play that much. Like, we know that they enjoy Hulk, but they hadn't been huge
Renavu,
heal
Christmas in 2
pool
months, right?
enjoyers. And I'm wondering, have FYRSTRAYS seen another Vault here? They're like, oh, you know what, we'll have that. That's a pretty good composition.
Something that I
right
really
there.
do appreciate
Just
from the
to
casters
emphasize how good Navi are, this is one of their
that
best maps. They've
that I
full
can't
held Alter
do
Esports
myself
on
is look into the
defense.
camera.
They full held
I have to look at
full
you
held
guys and read
Shikigami
chat, bro.
on the
I can't.
defense. They full held Team Pets
guys.
on the defense. Like, their defense is so strong.
It's
if I
weird.
haven't
It's not
stressed
like
that
I'm
enough.
looking into your guys'
So
eyes. I'm looking
really
into a
worried
camera.
about FYRSTRAYS here.
Well, speaking of defense,
Hello,
that's
are you
where
guys
Navi
there?
are starting for our second map of our third best of 5 of the day. They're looking to clean sweep the competition, not give up a single point to their competitors,
guys
and we'll
there?
see if that dominance continues.
All right, let's jump on in. Navi 1-0 up right now, but FYRSTRAYS
Yo, how's my
have a
hairline
leverage
looking? Chat, how's
in
my
this series.
hairline?
We're into the best of 5s now. This is for all the marbles.
Look at that shit. That shit look clean, chat. On a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the cleanest hairline you've ever seen. What's that rating?
When it comes to FYRSTRAYS,
That shit looks like a 10.
Too rad, but that was during their first week, so maybe we can scrub that bit out of history if we're the victors.
Yeah, leg room, but can you actually cap point A? It's like me asking
What
for
do you
leg
mean
room,
absolutely
but I'm 5
chopped,
foot,
bro?
so
My
it's
hairline
like,
ain't chopped.
FYRSTRAYS.
Not a great priority.
I do not care. You put me in a box somewhere. I'll be good. So FYRSTRAYS, they could be put in a box though, because Navi are starting off on defense, and that could be what really ends FYRSTRAYS if they don't pull through here.
I'm wondering if we see any more triple Vanguard come through from Navi. I think FYRSTRAYS, they were pretty on it by getting rid of the Rogue previously, but it's felt like the second that Navi had that Protect on the Gambit, that FYRSTRAYS were playing catch-up on their bans last time, having to get rid of a Loki, having to get rid of a Rogue, and then you got to consider, like, do we let the Star-Lord go through as well? Like, we get the one-sided Vanguard pool, which is so good for Rajaro. And admittedly, maybe not the worst thing in the world for FYRSTRAYS, who are very happy to kind of let the Vanguard pool go by the wayside and have Blaxo and Binary be able to play their more specialist vanguards.
FYRSTRAYS just trying to keep their cards up their sleeve, and man, they kind of threw us for a loop with their ideas. And they've gone, and I've already talked about the FYRSTRAYS evolution, but NAVI are throwing Spider-Man into the mix. They're throwing like all kinds of stuff at you and throwing you for a loop. And NAVI are a team that I think could execute on almost anything, but
Jay,
when
don't
they
cry.
have
Oh,
those
no, I'm not
strats
crying. I'm
prepared,
messaging you.
I'm
I know
worried
you're
about
mad.
if NAVI starts to sweat, how those adaptations come out of panic and frustration or something else rather than something they've actually practiced. But right now, NAVI are smooth
Practice.
sailing. They
We're
took
talking
that first
about
map
practice.
in a 2-0.
Ooh,
so it's time to see
FYRSTRAYS
on their best
ban
map if NAVI can be just as
and
consistent.
save the Elsa.
All
chat.
right, FYRSTRAYS already making an adaptation. You know
Very
what? We're
interesting,
not
very
going to first
interesting.
protect the Invis again, and Navi have read this. And they've been happy to say,
Oh, sorry, I
like,
had to look at my boobs real quick.
oh, hello. Well, FYRSTRAYS, they're going to get the Invis taken away from them pretty quickly here because, hey, if you're going to first protect it, we know that it's pretty important to your overall plans. You really want to empower the Doctor Strange with that team up, so we're just going to take that one away as quickly as possible and get the Gambit for ourselves again, which means that we're likely to see Navi run another 2-2-2, or at least have the capacity to do so, because Gambit is a very capable healer as a strategist, and that means that you generally don't need to have a tertiary strategist in order to make up the healing.
Yeah, the fact that
What does
Navi
2 times
got
drops
away
mean?
with
Do I
having
get 2
Terra
times more
on
progression to
Star-Lord
stuff? No,
with
there are
level
2
1
drops
perk on the
going on. If you type
Gambit,
exclamation
that
mark
was
drops,
already
you
just
do
so out
have...
of hand with the Jet Venom team up. Like such a good.
Well,
pick fan
tomorrow's
coming out of
it's
their
changing.
side.
Tomorrow's
Well,
going to be
I
Daredevil
didn't feel
drops.
like
So
FYRSTRAYS took
tomorrow
full
you get
advantage of
Daredevil,
having
and
the
you also
Mantis
are being
protected
able to
and
get the
available to them
Gambit
with the
drops. So you have
Star-Lord that
2
was
different
being
drops
played.
going
It
on
felt
at
like
the same time.
FYRSTRAYS' initial game plan got
You
ruined
cannot
when
open
it
up
was, what,
multiple
100
streamers to
zero
get
on the
drops at the
first
same
round?
time.
You're like,
You
all
cannot
hell is breaking loose. You're getting
open
fire
up multiple
extinguishers,
tabs at the
you're
same time. What you can do if you really
overcooking,
want
trying to just throw
is if
all
you're
of
like,
your
wow,
ideas
J3, you're ugly,
out
your
into
voice
the
is
trash,
stupid,
and
you can mute the
FYRSTRAYS looked
tab
better
and
on the
walk away
second
and go do
round,
something
being
else
able
or
to
play
actually
something else.
reclaim the
But
point
do not
fairly
mute the stream.
swiftly,
If you mute the
but
stream,
it's,
you do not get
yeah,
drops.
a very suffocating dive to go up against.
Also, YouTube.
When it comes to Terra and Jerky,
You guys
on
can
the
also
Iron
come over
Fist
to
and
Twitch to get
Daredevil,
drops.
but
Free
on a map
skins.
like Museum,
I have never
I'm
seen
not
anyone ever come.
expecting
Oh,
us-
actually,
the Iron
gaming
Fist,
people
to be honest,
like to
maybe
do that.
point
But
A, it's a lot more
it's free.
enclosed, but
All you gotta
this
do
could
is
be
just-
the-
you don't
maybe
even have
a
to
Terra
watch.
Phoenix, 'cause
You
we
can
saw
literally
that
turn
Morocco
on Twitch,
Convoy. That looks
watch the
super
stream,
good from Terra.
connect
Of
your
course, you could
accounts,
just
and
run
then
the
go back to
Star-Lord,
YouTube.
but it depends on what's available in the pick ban. The players called for a pause, so we'll jump in pretty quickly. But a one-sided Elsa could make all the difference like that.
Yeah, hopefully any ping issues have been sorted out, as we should be out of our pause very shortly. And like you said, one-sided Elsa, this is definitely a very powerful character to have in your hands, and maybe an equivalent counterweight to what Na'Vi now have with access to the Gambit. It's going to be Loki, of course, taken off the board straight away. You do not want to deal with double Raging Royal Flush, but now you have to make a choice of your FYRSTRAYS. Do you get rid of a Star-Lord, or do you get rid of the Rogue?
And all you could think about is this Elsa. Like, you got to get rid of all the strategists that are going to fully enable that, and making sure that you have the Rogue along with the Gambit is going to be important here for Navi, which is funny because Museum of Contemplation is just known as such a long
This
and large
girl is
map
on
that
fire.
there's been so much dive coming out here, but no.
You know what character I want in
Vanpool or
Marvel Rivals
Vanpool
chat?
to accompany
Cosmo.
that Rogue.
Not sure if I'm a huge fan of that. Like,
I
I
want
know
Cosmo.
that Rajaro has been very deadly on the Vanguard pool so far, but this does mean that now you have Gambit and Rogue team up.
Sorry, my
and
brain is
Raging
like
Royal
all over the
Legend
place. If you guys didn't understand that by now,
from the Star-Lord,
I'm thinking of
which
like
is
4,000
quite
things
difficult
at
to do,
once.
and
So
also makes
I say
for a
random
very
stuff,
viable
and I start
single
singing.
duelist composition here for Na'Vi if they want to play something that's like Ultra Bunker with a bunch of heals off the back of 3 strategists. And FYRSTRAYS are just having their pool of available strategists get whittled down so much.
And now Slappo doesn't have to overthink it. Now he's on Elsa. He doesn't have to do like crazy geometry with the Star-Lord. I'm coming up
That's what
with
happens when you have
25
ADHD.
different flanks and when he
I
should
think
do
Overwatch-
it. It's a lot
I think
more simple.
Overwatch
You
and
just
Marvel
play around your
Rivals
backline,
don't really
and
help
we'll
with
see
that, man,
how
because there's so many
creative
things
Slappo
going
wants to
on, so
get,
many
but
things,
I think
it's just-
safer is always
don't know,
better
man.
against a team like Navi, and really taking your time to play front to back with your FYRSTRAYS. And if Demon stays on the Wolverine, that could be really interesting. This first corner, you can get some nice kidnaps by wrapping around through the right doorway, coming up behind the Vanguards, and taking them into your own team. It's a very offensive side corner, I would say, for FYRSTRAYS. And trying to break that defensive hold can be really tricky. So we'll see what FYRSTRAYS end up on, which we could also see swaps depending on what Vanguards they expect to see on the other side. And a triple Vanguard from NAVI is what's going to make this even harder to try and dislodge.
But Jerky on the Hulk? Hulk is such a specialist character. If Jerky pounds on this character, I'm going to be thoroughly impressed. This is not an easy character to learn or to master at the pro level.
That is true
He just
indeed.
goes
That is
burr.
true
He just
indeed.
gets to jump and clap like a dolphin and just jump on out. I find him to be really fun. Maybe not as mechanical as others, but the triple Vanguard, this is a special cook from NAVI. You could tell that they've innovated a lot, but you got to be careful of where Demon could emerge as that Wolverine, as NAVI are already contesting and getting active.
All right, indestructible guard given over here by Jerky. That's going to be very important for bubbling off some of these Vanguards from getting grabbed by the Wolverine and that leap. However, a little bit deeper in his trust me, and well, that's some great walls brought up by Black Soda, cut off the healing, and now Sloppo is able to carve through the remainder of
I think
the
a lot of
Vanguard.
DPS players are
This
trying to
is why
learn
you
Hulk.
protect the Elsa,
I
especially
think
when
that's
you
why he's probably
might
on
think
Hulk,
you're gonna
chat.
go and
I mean,
face
have
up
you
against
guys
triple
seen
Vanguard.
Gale on Hulk? I mean,
Trust
that
me,
guy
trying to
is
figure out
kind of
the backup
scary on
plan
Hulk.
was on the Venom, now back to the
So-
Rogue, and FYRSTRAYS had a fantastic punish onto that Deadpool, and Navi are a bit floundering now. The first plan did not work out, and you have to try and retake against a Groot, and you pointed it out, Blackso denied the resources at a critical time, and that got the picks for FYRSTRAYS.
I love
Oh,
watching
Jack, already
good
been
Hulk
afflicted
players
with
play,
the
bro.
ban
Good
hammer.
Hulk
That means
players
the
are
movement
very
isn't
fun to
in their
watch.
favor. Actually gets taken down by the smoke. Demon laying down by Elsa.
When they
Now
start
Demon
juggling
getting up
people
close
and hitting all those
personal.
like stuns and
Vanguard's
right
just
clicks and all that stuff,
percentile
man, it really
damage.
makes me wish that was
Between
me.
the Wolverine and the Elsa, there are no easy outs here, and Terra's going to find themselves staggered behind. It's going to make it harder for Navi to meet the car early.
Such a momentum run too for FYRSTRAYS, again being able to defend the end of that point with a Groot, and you have an Elsa lined up who didn't even have to use the Apex Predator. Sloppo's ahead of the game, and this is going to be a lot of long lanes, but also different sections of the lanes that Navi can play at. Rajaro's on the Captain America, along with Trust Me on the Rogue. This is such a run-it-down anchor Vanguard line that FYRSTRAYS could try and dislodge, but also really chunk down at a distance. So look at Sloppo to farm this.
Rajo just doing his best to troll the objective progress at the moment. That's a huge anti coming through from the Gambit. Great connection from the side of level 1 Crook, but it seems like for now it's mostly bloodless. Trust me, bit off more than they could chew. Gets bonked with the
Oh, I like
stick.
that.
It's
They
not
add.
yet turned
Oh,
to
they
it would
added
seem.
player
Those
face
who get
cams.
for Luna of
I
all
love
things.
this.
Aaron's man, just a freeze.
Oh my god, that is a very dark room, but I love it, bro. They're locked in, chat. They're locked in.
Claws are out. FYRSTRAYS are not kidding around. An absolute collapse as Navi got chunked down on the approach, but Terra hits to help them stabilize.
Yeah, Blackstone's already down. It's going to be answered here from Closer.
Hey, chat, people play video games in the dark. There's nothing wrong with that.
So he's not doing as much damage. The spikes are building up.
I used to do video games in the dark, but as I got older, I actually really do appreciate the light. I hate being in the dark. So I stream with all my lights on now.
Loki's skin is not going to be able to get out of this one.
Yes, Terra on the Phoenix. This is what was promised. I loved him on Araco Convoy, just playing that ranged duelist. You need something to contend against Sloppo. All melee might not be the answer here for Navi, but now playing this corner, it's a lot easier, but do they see this push, this rotation from FYRSTRAYS coming around the backside? Strangling Prison from Blackso is what they really want to set up.
FX Predator, ready to go. You can already hear
What
the
a freeze!
has been deployed by Binary. Kumiho has to be unleashed. A big freeze on the other side. Sloppo now works the margins, looking around the outside. Does have the smoke demon ready to go. Someone can be dragged into a more precarious position. Jerky's falling low, demands for healing, and Fate's there to give it. But now you've got to start worrying about the objective if you're FYRSTRAYS. You can't hope after a map flip for long.
Still plenty of time for FYRSTRAYS. They flipped the map, still looking for that Strangling Prison. Demon and Binary in trouble, able to be healed back up. There's no straddles. Xenos is 5% away, and they need to survive until that.
Rajray caught around the outside.
Did he hit
by the
anyone
smoke
with that?
demon. I'm not sure where Blackso's ult went in the midst of all of that. And it's
Yeah, yo, whoa.
A pair of ultimates expended for not
Looking
that
like
much,
Tony
honestly.
Snell out here with our Groot ults, chat. Whoa, what are we doing?
This could be massive here for FYRSTRAYS, able to match up to what level 1 Crook was bringing to the table, but a Freedom Charge is going to temporarily rebuff them. An Ironwood Wall, the Glartrox as well. Trust me, he's grabbed, and Rajra is going to be lucky to escape with his life as Freedom lives to fight another day. In towards Terra, a 2-man dive to try and cut down the off-angle DPS. The Duelist is going to be able to
Oh my
cause
god, there's so many
problems
things
for
going
this
on
one.
right now, bro.
Just
I don't
up in
even
the
know what's
sky.
going on.
Can they get fire onto this Ultron? It seems like for now the pocket's going to be good.
I really do like how some of these players do use their face cam. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who don't use face cams, like as you guys can see, but I really do respect the players who do use the face cams. It adds a little extra touch and personality to the game.
But now they
I like
take to
it.
the skies, and there are some hostages behind for NAVI.
Oh, and Sloppo's on the hunt, and this stagger is gonna ruin Navi, and they're gonna pop the Royal Flush to bail them out, but it's too late.
All right, winning hand now. Raging Royal Flush. Level 1 Crook means that everyone gets to do so much damage, and with Closer down, FYRSTRAYS is going to be lacking in that healing. It's only Znost here with the Doppelgangers, brings up the Regeneration Domain to try and have this little bit of stability purchase for FYRSTRAYS.
Jerky is so good with his decision making. I mean, he had a great imperative patch to help the team with that extra health when Demon's Wolverine ult came out and was about to completely dismantle Navi. Speaking of Demon, he's now in the white box. Still have the triple strat now for FYRSTRAYS, investing into Sloppo. He's been that huge playmaker, and these flyers from Navi better be careful.
All right, attempts at a charm. Damon tries to get involved now.
I
into the
take
melee
everything!
form, doing so
I
much
take
damage.
everything!
Rajra forced to flee away. The Heartbreaker's here, so too is the Endsong Inferno up close and personal. Zost has fallen down, and trust me, well on the chase. The team up serving them well as Sloppo tries to disengage, but all they can do is watch their
Ooh,
tree cut
good
down
plays
in
by
their way.
FYRSTRAYS though,
Grabbing
but
two on the exit, 30 seconds remain.
30 seconds, chat.
And this is one of the few teams, if not the only team, to even get past point A on their attack against a Navi. They have had to change their comp so many times. The triple strat now from Navi
I have
instead
no
of the
idea,
triple
Devert. That is a
Vanguard.
great
It's
question.
just about trying
I
to
would
keep
not
their
be the one to,
distance and damage boost Terra as much as possible.
Yeah.
FYRSTRAYS, they're on their way in.
The music has started now, harkening the end of this one. One player grabbed inside of a strangling prison is going to be, trust me, it's a big opening early. Going to give a lot of favor. Oh, the feel, the absolute steal. The New York Thieves Guild is so happy with this one, getting a hold of the Raging Royal Flush. What a play from Znost off the back of their duplicitous exchange. In comes the portal from Trust Me. It's quick to get onto the cart. Can they just debark in time? 357 centimeters separate FYRSTRAYS from third, and they're able to get it as those overtime spawns take so long.
And late eliminations means FYRSTRAYS build momentum from here on out. And
That's what I'm
quite
talking
a
about.
nice highway here for a very hungry Apex Predator, but Navi have really prioritized the high ground. Any nooks and crannies, they can try to get a jump on FYRSTRAYS, but Navi's rotation seems so uncomfortable because they've been hostages. We pointed out how
I don't know
sometimes
if I'm
they are divided from
I don't
each
know if
other
I'm a
and not
nosy
able to
person or
conquer
not, but I
FYRSTRAYS
love
in
looking
these
at
moments.
what other
Fantastic awareness
gamers'
from this
setups look
attack,
like and what their
it's
cameras have in
FYRSTRAYS
their
in the
room.
driver's seat.
I'm very nosy. I'm
Shot
sorry.
Coming through from Damon, going up against these Vanguards. A momentary CC could be everything. You can see Fate doing their best Oasis cosplay in the back, just keeping that very annoying angle. Moving towards the back closer, needs to be bailed out here as the Spectral Surges move on forward from the White Fox. Blackstone needs to be bailed, and so it's going to be the fate of both worlds to try and drag Navi into a fight they cannot win. Jerky falling low, give themselves some extra HP, and Raja is going to be the one to deliver it. Freedom Charge towards the back. They really want the Luna. A mid-air collision for Terra means not much has been gained off the back of their ultimate, and here comes the Glartrox. A pair of
Yo,
Vanguards
FYRSTRAYS is actually
captured,
doing really
and now
well,
Fate
though.
finds himself out
I'm
without
proud
any
of them.
help, really.
Even though
Could
I
be
do
chased
think
down,
Navi's
had
going to
one
win,
player
and
within them, I believe.
I do like
Trust me,
rooting
it's
for the
gonna
underdogs,
have a
chat.
hard time. More swaps are coming out of Navi. I mean,
Like,
you're
it
gonna get
must
frozen
really-
by the Luna, charmed
I
by
can't
the White
imagine
Fox,
being like a
walled in by
weaker
the
team
Groot.
in
Could be
this
tough
case
for
and being
Trust Me
like,
to
oh,
get
okay, we're
value,
going
but as
against
long
one of the
as you get a
strongest
good
teams.
ultimate, you can combo
Let's
it
see
with
what we can
something
do, and
else.
then,
The
like, you're
Raging
doing really
Royal
well
Flush
against
is
them.
what's
It's
on the
good to
menu.
see.
Rajara on the Emma, just any kind of shield to block some of this damage. But here's the Raging Royal Flush.
4 players buffed up. Crook already heading towards the back. A great anti placed onto the strategist. However, the regeneration domain is going to give them a moment of stability. Terra falling low as Jerky looks for a target, and Binary's the only one that presents himself at the moment. Doctor Strange is going to be difficult to keep contested as Blackso stands on business. 3 players grabbed inside of the
Oh no, bro. Good ult, but like no one's dying, man.
On the other side, Duplicity changed from Snost to get away from their angry sister. The Angela needs to be dealt with, and Fate's still around in the back. But so long as you can keep the Elsa up, everything's going to be hunky-dory for now.
NAVI just need to win one fight. Why is this so difficult? Level 1 Crook now has to just feel for themselves and try to rejoin the team.
I think FYRSTRAYS might win this.
These are the type of macro decisions that NAVI have been really punished on, and FYRSTRAYS have struggled delivering all the big eliminations.
They have to go down. Level 1 Crook has to full commit for it. Still, Dr. Strange just made it so deep into third point. Damon going to be the next big target as in comes the end song Inferno.
Okay.
From Terra as they set the offense alight.
They might have not actually fully capped this map, but that is a very... I think this is one of the...
themselves from fully bleeding
I think this is one of the hardest maps to cap, chat.
I was worried about how they
fully
were
cap.
Get
this is one of the hardest maps to cap.
But to be the one to assassinate Sloppo is a massive play. NAVI were able to keep their heads above water after swapping from triple. He and Terra were able to at least really output that damage at a distance at point C, but FYRSTRAYS carried so much momentum.
Someone asked that question earlier. Someone was like, hey, what do you think is the hardest map to cap? I think this is one of the hardest map to cap. Full caps.
He provides a lot of nice AoE.
I'm not including the new map that just came out, chat, because there's not a huge sample size, but I think this is one of the most difficult maps to fully cap.
So FYRSTRAYS, this is a really nice performance, a very far push for this map.
Is the sound better though?
Okay. Looks like
I can't
we might
really
have
control
a connection issue here. So, oh, hello, Vod. Welcome back.
Hello.
You know what? We're in halftime, so you can come and chat with us during our brief pause here. FYRSTRAYS might get like Lemon was pointing out that there are a lot of like hostage scenarios with NAVI.
Okay,
FYRSTRAYS managing to turn their off angles against them.
Oh man, I feel like they are, and what's so interesting too is like they went to the map that NAVI has so much confidence on, and I feel like maybe they were overconfident in this. Maybe they weren't practicing.
The new map is not in the playoffs.
Showing a little bit here based on the composition.
The new stuff that's coming out on Friday
studied all the footage because there's so
is
much
not coming to pro play, chat. These guys practice weeks and weeks and weeks on a specific patch to get their team ready. It makes no sense for them to practice for weeks to be like, hey, you know what? We're changing we're changing everything that you just practiced for the match. It doesn't make any sense.
We're seeing a little bit of a change potentially coming out from Rajaro if once they get reconnected. I think they were the ones.
Wait, they're in a break because of technical issues, sound and cams, etc.
Specifically for NAVI to change things around.
Hot take. I would actually prefer them taking away the players' cameras, take away the players' cams, and actually add player team comms. I don't like have you guys watched my tournament or the college Alienware tournament that we just went to? Bro, team comms is the best thing that I think you could do for esports, bro. Hearing the players, communicate or be happy when they win, or the teams be, sadly sad when they lose. I think that adds personality, or maybe even shit talking. Maybe one team says, wow, this other team plays like bots. And to be honest with you, I think that's a very insane insult that you could do to someone. Can you imagine playing against a streamer and someone, can you imagine playing against someone and someone kills you? And they're like, wow, that guy was so bad. I think that was probably AI. And you that's a horrible insult. That's a horrible insult, chat.
How they can kind of best.
Wow, this guy was like AI. Is that guy AI?
All right, thanks for the input, Vodable. We'll see you in a couple of minutes, depending on how well NAVI do with their push here. Getting stuck back in. It's NAVI's turn to attack.
FYRSTRAYS got very far on this map. To break that first corner is not easy to do. They've had some good punishes. Black Swan, one of his best heroes here of the group.
Not face cams. I don't want face cams. I don't think I've ever said I want to play or face cams. Voice comms. Voice comms is what I always vouch for.
You can break down those walls quite
Voice comms is
FYRSTRAYS are
so awesome.
A lot of poke though.
I think Black Zone might actually be aiming to catch a bunch of this poke, knowing that they have 3 strategists behind them. It can
it's
be a
Mr.
little
Legs
bit
for 7
difficult to try
months.
and
Appreciate it,
keep
my
up
friend.
when
How
it
you
comes
doing?
to the generation. of strategist
And,
ultimates. Seems
by the
like
way,
Jerky hasn't got too much off the back of their
Berserk,
first elite, but don't forget they got
flyby
that
for
Primal
32 months,
Flame
appreciate
team
it.
up. Trust me, gets isolated by a moving wall that was placed on the front of the Batsmobile there, and FYRSTRAYS have no mercy in their heart. They're chasing down all of these players.
Oh shit!
What a
Yeah, sorry, my
sailboat.
bad.
I gotta write that one down. Groot Walls can move with the bus. Nice plays from FYRSTRAYS. And winning that first fight means you've built up towards that first ultimate. The banhammer from Binary to be able to take someone out of the fight. And because you really don't want to shoot or do anything at all once that banhammer hits you. And if you stall long enough, Blackstone's going to have a strangling prison before any strat ults could come out. So Navi are in trouble.
And Sloppo is just going to run this town when it comes to this long line here. If you move down here as a Vanguard, you are going to be eating so many monster piercers. Terra ready to go with the Ensong Inferno. All in onto Binary. A follow-up is good. Strangling Prison.
Oh!
Around a nice dodge from the Glass Rocks too, but Fate still gets caught within. Still while players are low. Level 1 Crook learns to feast. Black So is not going to be able to make any progress on towards the car. And it's going to have to be a TP back here for Fire.
Terra's using all these Ensong Infernos to just get himself out of strangling prisons and ultimates that could trap him, but it's not turning fights, it's saving him. But there is a reemergence here from Navi to contest.
Oh, Black So coming back out as well on the Wolverine. Raging Royal Flush from level 1 Croak. Just try and shut this one down before it begins, and getting Sloppo first is certainly going to be ideal. Strangling Prison.
Wow, Navi is looking really strong right now.
Pretty important ultimates here to try and make this one work. And still there's going to be a little grab from Jerky. Has the last stand. Is he brave enough to try and use it? Has already taken out Black So, and so it's not going to be necessary.
Imagine when Black
What,
Cat
4.5
comes in
minutes,
later
chat?
on,
4
there's gonna
minutes
have
and 20
so many
seconds.
claws
Nice.
out, like Wolverine on
For a second
Wolverine
phase.
and everything. Like in the Jerky versus, well, no more Wolverine on FYRSTRAY's side. Navi
Rainbow
knowing if
Six
they could
Pro League
kidnap
does
Black
add
So,
voice
that'll
comms
really
and those
destabilize
voice
the
comms
front
that
line.
feel
You
like a
just
different
have to
vibe.
know,
Hey, Apex
that
does
he's not
it.
gonna be
I think it's a
anti-CC'd in
great
that
thing to do.
condition with his bigger wall. Now Navi, they feel like they've gathered some momentum. They got that point cap after all, after some initial ult cycling trouble. Now Jerky to look for a final stand here as they take the high ground. FYRSTRAYS are going to try and counter position into shelter.
All right, Sloppo, up close and personal. The Monster Pierce could do so much damage here to Trust Me, who's gone deep amongst all of this. Jerky ready to go with the last stand, but do you want to use it inside? It could be a little bit more difficult to hit, but Terra's getting up close and personal. Not a single ounce of fear is seen within the Canadians' heart as they run down the members of FYRSTRAYS.
Wow, yeah, Navi trapped FYRSTRAYS. You thought you were safe, but no, you're trapped in there with Navi. And to defend now this last point with a Groot, with close to a strangling prison, Rajaro's gonna have
Yeah,
an
no,
important
Navi's
role
gonna
here.
roll this,
He
bro.
has
They
found
have
his
some. They have a
footing
lot
in
of
this
ults.
map, but
Navi
Jerky's looking for the
definitely rolls this,
back line.
man.
Raging Royal Flush already forced out those ultimates as well.
Oh my god, dude! Like that's what I meant when someone said earlier. How is there so much difference in pro play?
Iron Fist
Team
Daredevil
coordination,
duo,
man.
the
Team
deadly
synergy,
duo
the
from Burning
combinations
T'Challa,
and everything.
Enter Wolverine Phoenix supremacy from Navi. What a sick combo. To ignore that Vanguard line, to go after the strategist, that was the win condition of Navi. Now the wind is in their sails. They have not lost a fight for that point B, so they have a big time advantage going into this final part, and if they can keep on going, they'll go up to match point.
Finally,
Wait, what?
back onto
The drama
Vanguard
would be
Deadpool.
insane.
Wants to
What do
try
you
and
mean?
earn an early
Comms get
backhammer
shown,
here,
those
but
pros
it's a
will
great
get flamed or even
catch early,
canceled.
grabbing the group,
We are
giving
talking
that
about
facility kills
antisocial
damage,
introverts who
and
do nothing
even
but play
the
their
ultra
game
close
all
art
day, and they would
can't
they would
save
cancel
them. The fate of
themselves
both
near
worlds to be decided
immediately.
right here and now. It would
That's not
seem
true at
because
all.
Jerky,
First of
he
all,
just can't get him off Binary. He's just
if
sitting
you're
on
in the
top
middle of a
Vanguard
pro
doing
match and you're
so
saying
much
some bad
damage,
shit, you shouldn't even
hammering
have a
him
pro
over.
career in the first
Nothing
place.
to
So,
Terra. Burns them before the almighty Phoenix.
second of all, they do player comms a lot in different games. So, I
I
don't.
think Closer and Znost
That is
were
one
trying
of the
to
worst
coordinate
takes
who
I've
was
ever
gonna ult
seen.
First, they thought they could take the initiative with Znost, and Closer had to be the one to react quickly to the last stand of Jerky. So Closer not able to save Flaxo, and just when it rains, it pours. FYRSTRAYS have now not won a fight in quite a while, and Terra is just heating up, and all the ults are on Navi's side. They have all 6 pretty much.
6 sticks to try and play with. Raging Royal Flush, I believe, was copied over by Znost here. This might be a moment of stability that can be found. Can they grab? Trust me. Rajaro already down.
Okay, come on, show up, FYRSTRAYS. If I want to see FYRSTRAYS take a map off of them, and this is the map to do it. 3 minutes is a long time, but doable on this map.
The 2 versus 1, but with Terror already falling down, it's going to have to be a reset for Navi.
sigh of relief. I like that angle from Sloppo to be on the high ground to try and target these backliners. That's what Navi has been doing to them this whole time, and FYRSTRAYS can really take advantage of that weakness. So it's going to be important for Navi to get vision here because Sloppo's going undetected.
Sloppo not noticed. That Apex Predator.
Where is Sloppo?
Have been momentarily stunned. Multiple players inside of.
Oh!
Guess what? You think the CC is over? You could not be more wrong, my friend. There's even more on top of that as FYRSTRAYS expend 2 important ultimates.
That is 2 huge ults from FYRSTRAYS.
So they didn't have to
Navi
really
only used
use
1.
much. FYRSTRAYS. I mean, Navi go into this point with 4 minutes. Half of that is gone. They just need a really good Strangling Prison into Endsong Inferno. FYRSTRAYS, you probably aren't sure if Closer has the Fate of Both Worlds if you're ult tracking for Navi. So that's going to be the big question mark if that comes out in time.
Occupying the high ground here has been so important for the side of FYRSTRAYS as well, forcing Navi to make these movements.
Also, you guys are complaining about player comms if someone gets frustrated against another player or another team. Chat, that's called a rivalry, and that adds personality to the esports. So let's just say, for an example, if Terra shit talks Sloppo on the other team, and then you know they hate each other, well, you're going to want to watch that match again when they play because you want to see the rivalry. Like, it's good.
The attention of the ban hammer from Binary as FYRSTRAYS needs to try and figure out how to
to a certain extent, professionalism, obviously, but like...
Now you're going towards the end of the finish line. You got the Royal Flush versus the Fate of Both Worlds. This is the last stand for FYRSTRAYS. They have respawn advantage.
Oh, that's a huge ult. No, is anyone dying through that? No one died through that. Wow.
A couple of seconds left on that Fate of Both Worlds. A critical mistiming from Rajro, and now Znost amongst all his doppelgangers can get a trick over onto Trust Me. And suddenly for Na'Vi, they are starting to worry about the time.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Hey, like I said,
to the
this was a
last
great
seconds,
push
the
by
final
Fire,
fight
and
to
it would
see
be
if they can
huge
tie
if
the
they take a
series.
round off
If
Navi.
if they could take their first map against Navi, this would be insane. Only Shikigami and Heretics have been able to shake
J3
Navi
doesn't get it
this
at all.
much.
Now he defends it,
And
but
Navi
in
now
a
have
weird way.
Jerky on the
Okay,
Star-Lord.
no offense.
Terran will
You
stick to
guys
his
might be
guns,
delusional.
stick to
I
the
don't
fire.
know.
That has
I'm not
brought
even
so
defending
much
it in a
life
weird...
to
People are
Navi.
weird,
Now we'll
bro.
bring the fight to FYRSTRAYS.
Looking in towards the back, wants a quick charge, but Damon unable to connect still. While they look towards the back, they're not looking towards Rajro, and Binary's able to gun them down with the dual Desert Eagles. Unleashing the Kumiho. Navi say that it's now or never, and they need to get another one crook up towards that Raging Royal Flush towards the back. There are no options for Terra, just has to flee away.
That is actually really funny. Your response is brain dead, bud, because it happened in COD. Sometimes people get heated. Losing your career because you misspoke is the most left take ever. So now you're considering this as politics, when I'm just talking about having voice comms in a game. Second of all, you're comparing Call of Duty when everyone knows who has played Call of Duty knows that communication in Call of Duty is never good. Oh my god.
And they were on
That is
fire
fucking crazy.
doing
Good
this.
shit by
I can't
FYRSTRAYS, though.
believe it. They were getting bulldozed through.
You are
pretty much from
stupid
point
if you
B
think
to
you're bringing
this
politics
point of
into
the
this.
map.
Sorry,
I
bud.
was worried because
That's
there was
fucking
4
crazy.
minutes for Navi to just win the one fight, and it was because
You
of
could
FYRSTRAYS'
literally
positioning.
trash talk
They were
someone.
so
Oh,
smart
I
that it
think
was
you're
hard for
shit.
Navi
Oh, the other
to
team
get a
is
good
bad.
strangling
But if you
prison
start
to kinda
becoming
go off of the main
racist
win
or
conditions. So they
homophobic or
kinda
all
had to
that
go
stuff, you
off
do
play. They had to
deserve to
start
lose your
contesting the high
career.
ground. Terra was able to fly up
What
there
kind of
along with
fucking
Rajaro
take is
and
that?
everybody else. So Navi had to adapt to FYRSTRAYS so
What a
much,
dumbass.
But FYRSTRAYS were so elusive and
Like,
hard to lock down throughout that.
if
An
you
amazing
lose your
job in
cool
the
to the
macro
fact where you have to be
FYRSTRAYS on the
that
defensive
bad of a
front and
person,
leveraging
good,
Sloppo
yes,
where they could.
good.
20
You don't
final
deserve
blows
it.
from that Elsa, by the way, at 34,000 damage.
These
Sloppo
takes are.
reimagined. This is unbelievable.
I swear these guys don't even actually
and being able
think.
to win out against a one-sided gambit as well was something we needed to see from FYRSTRAYS here in this series after what happened over on Domination. You know what? My shout out for this match is not.
That's a self-report. That guy's probably mad that he can't say slurs on the internet, and there's consequences because a player said probably something bad online. Like, what an idiot!
But I love to see innovation, and that's a little bit of innovation right there.
And Closer gets MVP from FYRSTRAYS, and I think a lot of it is from the utility. You pretty much were single-handedly forcing Navi off of melee characters, because Closer was hitting like every freeze on anyone that came nearby, and also 46,000 healing, doubling pretty much like Demon, and Znos was up there in the healing too. Like Closer was so pivotal at healing for the backline, forcing Navi to have to play more of ranged duelists.
That guy got mad in my unbanned chat,
So
saying that I'm a
Navi tried
Marvel
to change
Rivals
the plan
player.
so much. At least we were fans of the hero choices this time, but Navi, they lost their best map and their map pick. This is crazy.
What a fucking idiot.
Well, FYRSTRAYS, evidently they knew something was in the water when they decided to go to Museum of Contemplation, because we were all like, what the fuck
Wow,
is this
what
for?
a fucking idiot, bro.
I'm kind of flabbergasted. That was a crazy performance as well.
Mm.
Binary showing us that the Vanguard pool does demand that ban as well. I would love to see Navi.
I guess
continually
I'm
see this,
stupid
Vanguard
Marvel
pool
Rivals
banned
player
against something
because
that has been a
I
lot
think
of
saying
value so far.
slurs and
It
being
really
very
was.
mean on the
FYRSTRAYS, this
internet
was
is a
their
bad
map
thing,
pick. Navi,
chat.
that was their playground, but
My
our series
bad.
is tied 1-1.
I'm
now
sorry.
It's Navi's choice and where we're gonna go to next. So we're gonna give them some time. We'll see you after this.
Ay, ay, ay.
Felicia's here to steal a win. Good fortune.
That is funny, man. That's like getting hired for a job and then you get to be racist to like your fellow like co-workers. I want to know how that's gonna work with you in your job. You're probably gonna get fired.
Let's make it.
Ay, ay, ay. People are so sometimes their Brian is not there, man. Ay, ay, ay. Anyways, hey, this is actually really cool to see that it's not a 3-0. This is the first time we're actually at a tied series, chat, so that's really good.
Now's the perfect time to strike. You crossed my path. Good boy.
Oh.
Meow.
I'm sorry, but dude, that is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life, bro. Ooh, voice comms. Sorry, chat. I'm done after this. Voice comms in a video game are really bad because people can lose their career because the person doesn't know how to control themselves because when they get angry, they say bad words. Oh, man. Anyways, okay, I'm done. Moving on, chat. That is wild to me. Oh. Virtus Pro is playing after this game. Yes, they are all the teams played today. So far, this is the third match. Virtus Pro and Peps is the last match for EMEA. Also, Emily is going to have to take over the stream for a few minutes, chat, because we might be going on the Marvel Rivals broadcast for NA. Oh, what do you mean you prefer her anyways? Yo! What the flark, man?
What an insane series of events we have had so far today. Shikigami getting the 3-0 sweep over Rad. Now we have FYRSTRAYS tying things up against the former world champions in Navi. Lemon, talk to me, breaking it down. It feels like there's a bit of a difference this time in the Vanguard lineups between
Oh
these
my
teams.
god, you know what's actually really funny that comes back to my point? Have you guys ever seen that thread? It was a very funny thread. Some person was like, "Oh my god, I got an internship at NASA. Let's fucking go." And then the person was like, "Hey, please don't use that language." And then the person replied, "Ah, fuck you, man." And the person was like, "Well, yeah, I happen to be the board director of NASA, so you just lost your shit." Hey, That shit is funny.
But
But
probably
I
gonna
think they
recall
end
their
up like
success on
forgiving her and
Call
they
It
got her
Jalia, which
job or
was
something.
What they did against Heretics.
Well, I don't know if we can call it success necessarily because they got through with their without a ban happening at the end. I know, like Day, you talked about that in the interview afterwards. You're like, how did this happen? And you guys still won. It seemed a bit sloppy on their side. They weren't as confident. And Heretics even said that like Venom might not be the best for this map. I mean, what do we expect after Navi going to a map that they should have rightfully won last time and need to this time?
I'm wondering if they have an answer for the White Fox Luna. Like, we heard the whisperings amongst the scene. The streets were saying that Luna White Fox is a very good anti-dive duo with that Kumiho team up, allowing for 2 charges.
What are other
of
tanks I should
Spectral
add to my
Surge,
pool of
essentially,
Cat
to
Venom?
come out and
It seems
charm
like you play a lot of dive.
someone who's making ingress,
Hulk?
whether that's a rogue or a Venom.
If you
and
like
that definitely
melee
seemed to be doing a
dive
great job
characters,
of
Hulk.
making sure that Trust Me had to be a little bit more conservative with how their dives are going, as well as pulling Jerky off of the Wolverine, which I think was really creating a lot of instability for FYRSTRAYS.
It's a tough spot to find yourself in if you are
Thor.
not
Thor could be good.
because you're like,
I think
okay,
if you want to be
didn't
consistent,
expect to have to
go
counterpick at this point,
Magneto.
especially
Magneto
going
is a
using
very
Contemplation. You were
consistent
saying
tank player that
Lemon,
you'll
like,
see a
that was
lot.
their comfort
Also,
zone. They
Doctor
looked so
Strange
good
is
before,
in
and
good
then
hands.
They are in a nightmare currently in this series. It's no longer FYRSTRAYS. The fear has come back instead. But talking about this specific matchup, what we can expect to see from FYRSTRAYS now that we've seen that Luna and White Fox, do we see maybe a priority in terms of protection, so that they can keep that going here against more of the dive mindset that Navi's typically known for this map?
I think Navi just need to feel comfortable with their Vanguard line. You saw kind of how much it affected them to not have the Van pool available for Rajaro, and how he was swapping from Groot to Cap to whatever else that he was hoping to help the team with. And trust me, he's played Venom on this before. I still think despite them losing this map to Heretics, they still almost completed the map. They almost got to the 3rd point, which not a lot of teams can say they've pushed Heretics to that edge. And Terra on the Star-Lord is ever so dominant, and I think if you have Crook or Jerky on the Mantis, if that gets through all the eggs in the Terra basket, I think he was trying to make a lot of plays on Museum. A lot of the picks went Terra's way, but you need a team around Terra, and you need everyone on their comfort picks.
We'll have to see exactly how it goes down for this next map, specifically what the compositions are going to look like. If it is going to be FYRSTRAYS taking the advantage, Navi having to bounce it back here after being dished another map.
You know, I had Navi.
Before,
I had Navi being one of the top 3 teams for EMEA, but
this is the best of 5. It's a different
they're showing a lot of
game
weakness
and a
right now, chat.
Series, so we'll see how this one goes.
I thought they would be dominating this game in a 3-0.
Fate is in their hands. A map pick now going to Hall of Jalia, one of their most iconic maps, where they first took a map off of Virtus Pro. Some would say that was the beginning of the end for the mid-season run for Virtus Pro.
J3 just self-reported himself that he doesn't watch any combat sports. He would break in 1 minute from the trash talk and cry on Twitter. Like I said, trash talk and shit talking is perfectly fine. I am pretty sure in these combat sports, they don't say anything racist and they don't say anything homophobic or anything like
I hate
that.
to keep bringing up a substitute, but Sesh
Is this
was
guy
with him at the
okay
time, so, how much have
on
they scripted
YouTube?
without him? That
you-
was a lot of the triple strat. They even brought out a really fun Iron Man comp. Like FYRSTRAYS.
Trash talk is not the same as being racist.
Of the
Are you
preseason.
okay?
But now it's, how is this Elsa keep getting by?
I
Now
don't
it's
think
gonna
you're
be
okay, bro.
Terra that'll get to enjoy that, not Sloppo, because you saw how much of a difference it made for FYRSTRAYS
Hey,
last
get off the internet, bro.
Hey, once again,
I'm gonna be
FYRSTRAYS
your
are gonna
dad for the
shy
day.
away from
Take
playing
yourself off the internet.
Gambit themselves.
Go outside.
Just
Go
making
play with
sure
some
that
rocks or
everyone
something.
has
Get
access to
off
it.
the
Now
internet,
they're
bro.
having to reband that to
Get
make
off the
sure
internet.
Gambit stays off the table, but the one-sided Mantis here
Get-
could
get
allow
off-
for
get
a
off the
CEO
internet, man.
duelist to try and match up towards a Terra Elsa.
I'd really like a Sloppo Star-Lord 2 worst case scenario, and how that gets paired up with all the strategists that, and I think when you have such a mobile hero like a Star-Lord, it also appeals well against, you would say that it's an attacking duelist, but also a very good duelist at peeling against Venom, because a Star-Lord, being one of the most mobile duelists, can chase down a lot of these characters that run out of cooldowns and are trying to escape. And so a Star-Lord can try and chase that down. But the Loki Mantis is going to be a fun backline for FYRSTRAYS to play with.
Especially knowing that
Yeah,
Blackso would love
I
to play the
completely
group here.
agree.
That could
True.
be a ban that's on
My
Navi's
Twitch
mind, but
chat's
that's just
saying
kind of
some
low
hot
priority.
takes, bro.
I wouldn't mind seeing them take the Vanguard Deadpool away from Binary, considering how much he did on that previous map, being able to knock some players down. Yep, it is going to be Vanguard Deadpool taken away from everybody.
Which
No, this is the same ban
I don't
order.
know how much that really
This
affected
is
Rajara. I don't know
you
the
might
guy
be watching
personally, but that is
MRC.
his
MRC
best
has a
hero by
different
far. I
ban
would say
order
the
than
best
MRI.
ban pool in EMEA. Like he puts out numbers that would rival any Elsa on a Vanguard. So we'll see how he'll adapt on a very open map. He swapped to anything. I think even including the Emma at some point. Like FYRSTRAYS or Navi, I should say, felt like their Vanguards were so frantic to find a solution. So hopefully Navi can settle in comfortably because they had so much time to finish the map. I thought Navi was gonna win Museum of Contemplation, but it came down to execution and better macro from FYRSTRAYS. And Navi, through that chaos, was quite frantic on how they were trying to figure things out.
I love this last ban on the Venom here for FYRSTRAYS. Actually opens up their options for a backline quite a bit, as it means that they don't have to try and play for that White Fox Luna, when they really want to instead be playing for the Mantis and the Loki together, and the additional damage boost that Damon can give over with that Imperative patch onto Sloppo. So I think that getting rid of the Venom there means that they can be a lot more kind of stationary, a lot like lower mobility with their backline, as well as taking away all potential team-ups from Fate, which means that you're not getting as much out of that Jeff.
Can't underestimate how nice that sleep
Yeah,
is
Navi-
too
Navi
from the
lost
Mantis,
around.
because I mean Closer was fantastic on the Luna, getting these freezes to peel, but
We
makes
are
his sleep
tied
a little bit
1-1
easier to
right
hit
now.
than a Luna freeze at times. And if Navi are gonna run it down with a very well-known, trust me, Captain America, this is gonna be fun. But I think Rajaro is gonna help with the gap close. We'll see if there's a portal play from Navi out the gates.
It could be an instant portal indeed. The layers of shields,
Also, keep
the
in mind,
onion
chat,
of defense
they have to play all the
is
game
wrapped up
modes,
around
so
Rajaro, and they would love to just get
this is why
directly on
you
top
are
of these
seeing
strategists, try and
this
cut them off
map.
from
But
healing.
after they
It's a
play all the
perfect
game
angle
modes,
here.
they
This
can
is
go
which-
back and pick whatever
maybe
game mode they
is-
want.
Can they escape fast enough? Nope. Instant pull from level 1. Crook means Nost has nowhere to go. This one might be curtains already.
And Navi are already going to pressure the point and start that capture, and FYRSTRAYS completely caught off guard. And to adapt it in the blink of an eye, I don't think even Virtus Pro can do that. Like, very good call from Rajaro on the Doctor Strange, but there will be a portal recontest from FYRSTRAYS, who will be able to stop that full cap.
Yeah, unfortunately, Faye actually
Best of
fumbled
5,
one of
yes.
their joyful splashes, meaning they couldn't triple CC them back. Oh, Blackso's coming over on the Thor. Someone's going to make a fan out of me today. You know what? When you're going up against a Doctor Strange and a Captain America, it's not the worst thing in the world, but Blackso does overextend with not much healing behind
I mean,
them, and so
they
that
might
is
have
an
not
opening
won
now
that team
game
fight
for
yet,
the side
but
of
they got
Navi.
two fucking
Rush, we're going
2
in with a
points,
fully charged up
2 ticks on the
team.
point in a 1
Does
minute.
have
That's
the invisible
insane.
team up behind them, throwing the shield for Sentinel strikes from Trust Me, knows that it's time to make in towards the backline, while Binary will have to fight alone.
You talking to
for
me?
The objective, and always lonesome, he can't do much.
Wow, Rajaro is fragging today on the Doctor Strange of all things. Pairs so well with the Invisible Woman. It's gonna be the team up that you would want to play Doctor Strange with. Otherwise, it's a portal simulator. Navi, I think we're very happy for FYRSTRAYS to recontest, because that means they got to build up towards some ults, which are going to be strong win conditions to go towards the end. Oh,
Yo,
slap
Big
them
Cam
toes,
Daddy.
Binary
Appreciate
on
the massive Prime
Venom,
sub, my
so
friend.
You just got to keep watching.
Welcome,
have
welcome.
Terra peeled for if needed.
So there are grippers on my radar.
Jarvis? I'm not gonna say it, but Aya Wakamoto, Apex Predator.
Yeah, they can fill that one in. Byre's already used their symbiotic resilience. Lots of damage going over onto Terra.
I think FYRSTRAYS, you guys are saying, why is Terra on Elsa? I think that's because FYRSTRAYS banned Gambit first. You have to take a pick. Do you guys want to ban Gambit first, or do you guys want to ban Elsa first? If you ban Elsa, the other team gets Gambit. If you ban Gambit, the other team gets Elsa. Which one do you want to play against? I think I would rather play against a Gambit, and so I would ban Elsa. I think Elsa is more of a problem in this game than Gambit. Don't get me wrong, Gambit is really strong,
The ultimate coming through. Oh, so many stuns.
Oh.
Does grab them out of the Glatrox, mind you, which might not be ideal, but Rajra is going to be there to close anyway, as Closar is going to fall on down. The remainder of FYRSTRAYS is going to have trouble getting out of this one, as Elsa's on the chase with full Hunter's Instinct.
FYRSTRAYS are realizing they have to keep putting pressure on Navi so this Elsa doesn't just free fire. There's a lot of options to answer to the Eye of Agamotto, and man, it's tough to lock down people when it's Loki doppelgangers that you have to try and sift through, and Rajaro still was able to punish 2 strategists. He is having an
I don't know how to say that name.
incredible
Oh,
Museum of
fun?
Contemplation,
Appreciate the massive
and
prime
Navi are
sub, my
about to
friend.
cap.
Oh, very close to getting that cap indeed. Had to be the last second touch coming through from Binary. Close already down. That's a major source of healing now missing for FYRSTRAYS. They're just going to be sipping at the healing that was given over by his nostril. That Soul Resurgence. Binary's attempted disengagement could be stopped by the Force Physics. Regeneration Domain is once again brought out by Closer. The close respawns of FYRSTRAYS are serving them well here, but they still need to remain on the cart at all times. 2 players quickly stand up by Slopper. There's not really any follow-up to come on through. Terra's building up once
Is
again,
Groot meta?
taking out
Groot is
Slopper
a
almost
very
to the
strong
Apex
tank
Predator. A quick
character,
EQ from
yes.
the Jeff to get the
He
Vanguard
has
off
a
the card.
very
All that
fast
you might
ult
need,
and also
but
a
it's
very
going to be a full
strong
investigation,
ult.
or like a full investment
A
here
scone!
from
Appreciate the
Bane
massive
with
prime
the
sub, my
Rage
friend.
of Ultron. All the Vanguards grabbed off, and they're easily cut on through by the Elsa. No wonder she's banned all the time. She just makes absolute mincemeat out of them.
Oh, that cap went through, and Closer thought it was still winnable, so you're not going to have that. I guess you stabilize if you really want to cope, but the Apex Predator from Terra
Appreciate
to
you modding, by the way, Bree.
away
W.
From the LOS of their strategist was huge. Blackso also self-bubbled to save himself from the Apex Predator, making that only a 1-man Apex Predator, and Navi maybe didn't get full value of all these ultimates, but they still capped, and they're on a roll. 3.5 minutes for the final point, and FYRSTRAYS used Closer's strat ult. So this is going to be really tough. They're relying on Snos to build up towards that Soul Resurgence, and then is that going to be enough to stop Navi? They're looking incredible.
Slopper needs an early pick here. They just need a mechanical outplay to try and buy a little bit of stability, and now you've got to worry about Trust Me in the back. The Paranoia cap. That's going to be constantly taxing your comms, taxing your information. Terra just bit off a little bit more.
Ooh, Sloppo is actually going off right now.
Through the Huntress, and so Jerky's not going to have anywhere to really go. Disengagement.
Aliza,
Alyssa,
appreciate the massive 2 months. How you doing? How you doing?
This is
The
such a
first
difficult
3
part of the
maps
map to
are
push through. You're entering a fortress for the defenders, and
the
Navi
first
just
map, which
wanted
it
to
always
keep
starts
pressing
on a
the
King of the
W
Hill.
key.
The
At
King
this
of the
point,
Hill
you
is
can
predetermined
kinda slow it
already,
down
so
at
the
this
teams
point
can
of the
practice
map,
and know
but
what map they're
ton of
playing
ults
on.
now for FYRSTRAYS.
After
Training
that-
in prison, Blackso has been
After
on it,
that
and now they have
is
to try and defend
a,
against it. They got shields, they got ways to get around
Is
it.
up to the teams. They have a selected. They have like 5 maps in a pool, and they picked. Oh my God, what a block! I think Terra actually took that for his team. He actually, Terra just risked his life for his team. Oh my God. So you have a predetermined map, which is Koth. When you lose that, the loser picks the map from like a map pool. And then let's just say you pick a payload. Since Koth and payload were picked, the next map will have to be a hybrid. You cannot play the same game mode twice unless all the game modes have already been played.
Once an eye, Agamotto. For now, just going to play it a little bit more slowly. He's not going to answer here with a Soul Resurgence. Extra speed for everybody on FYRSTRAYS, and you can see that they are going after Navi with no mercy. Trust Me's Freedom Charge already has been expended. A great dodge on the Glatrox there coming on through. And the healing solid as well. They've dealt with the Apex Predator. Fate can't get inside of the invisible boundary. Was too quick to go underwater. Oh, what a stun from Rajaro, though. All 3 of the strategists, they thought they saw an opening, but Navi simply flipped their trap card. And the pot of green.
I am very happy to see how Strange is in this season.
Because there's no invisible woman to push Rajaro away.
I think, in my opinion, Strange is the most fun tank
fight so easy.
I think I've ever played in any game.
A minute left, but Navi are gonna pull the trigger first.
Soul Resurgence copied over from Znost by the God of Mischief and Rajro. Good moves here. The disengage is very strong. And Rajro's still living. This is some excellent pocket.
I love Strange, man.
Blackstone needs to be careful. You are a Groot, not a shield haver. And you kind of need to play around your fortress.
Big ol'.
Okay, one player grabbed on in. Don't think there's going to be too much in the way of follow-up after.
He threw that ult in there and ran away, bro. No one capitalized on that. I mean, I think he only had one person, but the fuck was that?
Don't want to move too far forward. It's going to be Jeff moving in towards the back. Snost and Damon are already down. Only the Loki remains for healing, but might well be inside of the fish. Blackso plays for their life, just wiggling around like a little tree should, and the remainder of the Vanguard.
I think he had one person in it. I'm not so sure. Or maybe it was a Loki clone. I don't know what he got, but
it was just a distraction.
No, not a Loki clone.
As NAVI win with 007 in the time bank.
Yeah, kids, don't write that down. Groot is not a flanking Vanguard, okay? It looked cool on paper, but it didn't turn the fight for Fire.
I think flanking with your Groot ult is still good. You can get behind the shields and still ult the enemy team's backline, but I don't know what... I think it was poorly executed there.
Play behind the card, play for stall, and I think Blackstone was trying to go for a Hail Mary play with a flanking
and also
Strangler prison. Just the issue was that no one was able to follow it up. So yeah, you got targets in prison, but they had a key, NAVI broke out, and then you had kind of FYRSTRAYS all destabilized. Even with respawn advantage, NAVI drove the truck straight through them. The cap on this map is fantastic. 7 seconds to whatever. It's the fact that you capped, and FYRSTRAYS have to try and match that. And I thought FYRSTRAYS were going to pull out some miracle, more conservative defense like they did on Museum of Contemplation, but I think FYRSTRAYS tried to do too much, and sometimes you just have to play defense and not have to always make a big play.
I mean, I said that Rajaro needs to keep having this Vanguard Deadpool banned away from him, but after seeing what Man achieved with the Eye of Agamotto, like, is Rajaro bannable? Is the big question. This guy's having a standout game so far today. And
this is why it pays to know a lot of characters.
To be a top-tier team.
This is why it pays to be a very good player on a lot of characters. If you were a one-trick and you get your character banned, you are useless to your team and yourself.
To really push these Vanguards away, not going to be able to interrupt the portal, so here comes... Okay, whoop.
Oh.
FYRSTRAYS are now on the platform.
Yeah, a little bit gate kept away from that one. Damon has not gone too much off of the Feral Leaf. Either has already expended their passive. The healing factor is gone, and FYRSTRAYS have lost their initiative. That was far less aggressive than we saw from NAVI.
I don't even know if everyone from FYRSTRAYS went through the portal. Like, it was kind of
I think they just added face cams again, and it ended up doing some horrible audio, and now they just took it off again. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing right there. They're trying something, they're attempting it. I appreciate that, but I don't know what they're doing wrong.
Compared to the Hulk that has shorter leaps, and NAVI are in control, and they have so much pushback having an invisible woman who can heal so many people at once. So FYRSTRAYS need a committed and focused push against this.
Dude, Face is so difficult to deal with here. Just excellent angles to try and play with. Unlimited healing, essentially. Is this going to be an attempt to try and rebuff Binary's push on...
Jay, I don't want to hear it from you, you Bucky OTP. Yeah, man, you caught me. I'm a Bucky OTP, bro. What will I ever do?
So quickly, as well as, of course, rescue.
Caught.
Should things go
Chat, can I get the emote caught?
Yeah, playing stack like this is going to be good for level 1 Crook, but here comes FYRSTRAYS. You made them angry, and now they got strat ults.
And indeed, there it is for Soul Resurgence, driving all the members of FYRSTRAYS forward. They want to get on top of Fate, but for now, the kiting's good. Sloppo denied that frag, and Closar deep inside of Invisible Boundary is absolutely skinned alive by NAVI. Out comes Damon, trying to make something happen off the back of the Rage of Ultron, but I think that NAVI are far too well supplied to try and fall down to this one. Terra's just domineering in the neutral.
Half the time bank is gone for FYRSTRAYS.
Oh, YouTube, I can't. I don't know if I can add emotes to YouTube. I have 7TV connected to YouTube, but I don't know. Let me see.
Win, but you have to access someone like Terra, who has had fantastic spacing, trying to be as far away from the action, far away from a Venom as he can. And FYRSTRAYS have triple strats to support the upcoming attack, and NAVI have triple strategists to protect Terra. So it's going to be an Eye of Agamotto play from Rajaro. He's been on point with this, and FYRSTRAYS will just hopefully try to sleep it and try to back away from it. Not really much you can do to defend it in terms of utility.
FYRSTRAYS need to see Sloppo get some neutral picks here. If they're going to put this much value into their duelists. Actually, Sloppo falling low, having to use the End Song Inferno just to try and rebuff some of this initial damage that was brought out here by Jerky. Now FYRSTRAYS with their double duelists could potentially find something in the back of Cellular Corrosion. They want the Doctor Strange so badly, and yet Rajaro refuses to fall, clinging to life as everyone's caught by the Hell's Descent in the back. Heaven has been brought to earth by Trust Me, and Na'Vi are looking so strong on the defense.
FYRSTRAYS are trying to go for these zoning fights where they just collect ticks and they kind of just chip away at this defense.
No.
And this stall is going to ruin things. FYRSTRAYS only have 40 seconds and they never confirmed that second tick. This is disastrous, and they invested so many ults. Emergency Psylocke is coming out. Demon is 40% away from the Galactic Legend. There's no clear win condition from FYRSTRAYS.
I wish I could do that in my ranked games.
How are they going to do it without it? It's going to take a massive mistake from
But
Na'Vi
sadly, people want the elimination.
for
See,
them to give up this defense.
people want the elimination to pad their stats, so you're never gonna get
But the healing
you're never gonna get a
for
stall like that.
This is going to be a little bit substandard. Terra's already scouting out the approach here of Black So, just sticking close to this Doctor Strange Big Joe. There's constantly that Shield of a Seraphim available to stop any over-aggression coming their way. Jerky's already been taken down, though. Darren managed to catch them by surprise. And now level 1 Croak has to play a little bit more conservatively. Doesn't want to expose themselves to too much. Not ready to do too much. Binary's already going to use their Symbiotic Resilience and the Cellular Corrosion as well. How do you deal with this one? In towards the back, a stun onto Snost. Closar down as well. FYRSTRAYS find themselves torn to pieces.
Well, this was a complete total opposite of what happened last game. I thought this was going to be a good series. FYRSTRAYS won the previous map, and now
I can't believe it on their map choice. The work that they did to turn around their composition and execution from the time they encountered
that fucking
Heretics,
sucks.
that loss made them mad. And Terra, when he's mad, he plays even better. Your MVP on the Elsa. You should have never
show me the
let
stats.
this guy get the Elsa. Let's
And
even
this
look
is
at the
exactly
stats.
why I say you should never
23
let a team get
final
Elsa.
hits.
Oh my goodness.
That, you were doing so much for FYRSTRAYS to commit to trying to eliminate this guy. Binary was trying to do it solo. FYRSTRAYS were just trying to get on the point and zone Na'Vi away from it. And it still was not enough to collect the second tick and to even get anything going for themselves. That was an unbelievable defense from Na'Vi.
Like, when I look at this scorecard here, this is kind of a Na'Vi that was promised, right? When we first heard that Terra might be trialing for Na'Vi, we're like, okay, we give them a real powerhouse duelist player.
42-5 with 23 final hits.
Times where it did seem like Na'Vi were playing a bit more of that 100 Thieves style, but like give everything to
I
Terra,
don't
let Terra
understand.
go win, and, well,
Chat, I'm going to
Terra
say it
did go
again.
win.
Stop fucking
Rajaro
banning
also
Gambit
was a big win
first.
for this team. I was wondering
Ban
how he was going to
Elsa
adapt when that
first.
Banpool was banned out yet
I'm not,
again.
bro.
And
I don't
he
know
has a
who's.
healthy
I don't know
hero,
who
but
these
I just
guys
wanted
have as
to see
coaches
how confident he looked on
or
other
what
picks.
they're doing, but
How
I
confident
think
is
someone
only one
needs
death on
the. I think someone
Dr.
needs to do their
Strange
homework or
with
probably
25,000 damage, second most damage in the lobby. Rajaro was
People
doing
need to start
everything,
realizing
100
that
targets, getting
Elsa is a lot worse than Gambit.
FYRSTRAYS and hitting a Maelstrom that would always be getting eliminations. He was hunting down strategists as a Doctor Strange. Rajaro was doing everything, including jump scaring Znost on the initial entry from Na'Vi. So they brought their own portal plans, and Na'Vi look amazing.
I'm thoroughly impressed. Like, Na'Vi, I don't know, like, I was trying to sell
It doesn't make any sense, bro. Stop
I
egoing.
in their second week looked very strong, and
Instead
they've
of
also been able to,
trying to pretend that you have a better, like, Elsa, just
However,
ban
it
Elsa.
feels like they are constantly behind on their drafts. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of the Mantis first protect when you don't have access to the Elsa. But aside from that, like, FYRSTRAYS, they're finding their openings, but Na'Vi, like, if you give Terra Elsa, what can you expect?
FYRSTRAYS look good on Museum of Contemplation and fell through, getting full held. Will this be Na'Vi going to the upper or continuing through the upper bracket, or do FYRSTRAYS have something else up their sleeve? Their map pick is next, and you won't want to miss it.
I was the voice actor for that cat, chat. Did you guys like it? Yeah, I don't know why people just don't ban Elsa first. It just doesn't make any sense. To be honest with you, try to find that person's main account because they're ban evading and just ban their main. I think their main account was actually timed out for 14 days. You should just ban that person's main, or I could. I'll do it. There you go. W. I'm pretty sure I have a YouTube video on the Bucky that I played yesterday, chat. See, my problem with the Bucky thing is that they are saying that Bucky is not supposed to be a bodyguard when he really is supposed to be a bodyguard. He has a hook, he has an uppercut. It's supposed to be a grounding effect. When someone dives you, you are supposed to, or dives your supports, you are supposed to turn around and protect your supports. This is wild to say, right? Wow, DPS players have to protect their backline. How many times do you guys get a DPS player or a tank player that never turns around for the backline? You guys die because you don't get any help, and guess what? Your team complains, GG, no heals. Well, guess what? You're supposed to help your team because it is a team-based game, and they're taking away that, like, team-based mechanic away from the game. In my opinion, they're making him more offensive instead of, like, the bodyguard that he is. So that's my opinion. So I always played Bucky when the other team is playing dive because I use my hook and all that stuff to counter the divers, uppercut, make sure I could, like, guarantee that kill, protect my backline. But when you uppercut someone now or hook them, well, their hook is on a 15-second cooldown now, and when you uppercut someone, they're just going to be able to use a movement ability and just live.
NAVI are now hoping that we're our regularly scheduled programming with that 3-0 victory on Hall of the Dahlia. What we probably should have seen from them necessarily against Heretics way back when, but they have clutched things up here, proven the differences was, hey, if we get Rosario some help and make it so he can lock things down on Strange with the Invis team up, might be enough there, Lemon, for them to get the victory.
Rajar on this Doctor Strange was incredible, from the portal plays to just getting aggressive. That's what we loved about Navi. It kind of replaced the N with the W. That's all they did was just hold down the W key. Sometimes at their own demise, just trying to push into the defender's spawn at the third point. Like, Navi at some points need to let go of the W key. But that was what the big problem was. And I don't think you can just send just binary on the Venom from FYRSTRAYS to deal with a protected Elsa of Terra. So you cannot be letting this team have the Elsa. I think FYRSTRAYS would do a better job.
Where can I find the stats or individual games of these esports games? You can literally look at this in the game client itself, which is crazy. It's really cool. You can actually watch these games back and see what, if you are a support player, you could go into Marvel Rivals, click on the game that just happened, and watch how the support players play in these games, and also see all their stats and whatnot. It's a really cool feature, chat. You guys should definitely take advantage of that.
Might be a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, Midtown could be a bit of a different story. I feel like for now, Navi are in this position, like, it's a no-loss scenario to ban Elsa, right? Because, like, you leave Gambit open, but FYRSTRAYS have shown an unwillingness to play Gambit. So you're always winning the first part of the ban phase. Because you might be going up against
Hey, can you ask 100 Thieves to ban Elsa?
You likely have Terra on Elsa, who doesn't really
I don't know what
need
100 Thieves is doing right now.
Like, they were getting away with just the Ultron damage boost and the raw mechanics behind, like, Terra, like, Fate and Co. just laying
Wait,
down
what
the
happened?
damage.
Why do you say that, Evan? I don't know why
Looking
you're
at
saying
this
that.
map specifically, Lemon, I mean,
It is best of 5, yes.
Favor-wise, do you think that FYRSTRAYS have it in them to force that map 5, or are we feeling like that now we're just going to kind of
NA does play today,
and
they
we've
play
just
later.
never seen this map, I believe, Midtown, when it comes to this team, but I think it fits their style and their composition well. Like, Blackstone being so good at the Groot, this is a very strong Groot map in terms of just how narrow these streets can be and how you can section off the paths. And they also have been trying to run Demon on the Wolverine to not so great success on previous Hall of the Dahlia, but I could see it on a smaller similar map like Midtown that you can maybe grab some people and close them in with the Groot, and you have a strong neutral win condition. But I did feel like Demon really struggled to find his place on Hall of Dajalia, and it kind of was the Sloppo show, but it just can't be all about him, or at least it has to be triple strategist around Sloppo to make that work.
My biggest worry here is many teams have said, we saw from Rad into Vision, we saw a little bit of it in Midtown at the start, that this team in FYRSTRAYS doesn't really have the best answer into triple Vanguard. And, well, if you get the Gambit and you triple Vanguard, we've seen that hold happen so many times on Midtown. It might happen here again. Could be a viewing into one of the possibilities from Doctor Strange, and maybe we'll see more Doctor Strange if it gets through the ban draft. But it's gonna be Navi versus FYRSTRAYS. FYRSTRAYS are looking to bounce back and force our first map 5 of the preseason playoffs. Can they do it? Time to find out.
All right, students, ban.
Any tips for Wolverine? Ooh, I'm not the best Wolverine, but I would say claw some people. Kidnap the tanks and make the tanks cry. Sorry, tank players.
And this is something FYRSTRAYS have scrimmed and they have a plan for. We haven't, there's no tape on Navi on Midtown either, but you can kind of extrapolate based on other maps that are similar to it. Like if you want to say Central Park and how like narrow it can be at that
Bro,
point.
not cool, J3. I'm
so
sorry,
much
tank
about
players.
the macro here. There's a very important high ground that you have to take.
There's already
and
a very
some teams,
few
like
of you. I don't mean to
Full
piss
Cryo,
you
will
guys
send all
off.
6 to that first high ground. Others will play the main and have people tackle them into their own team. So FYRSTRAYS, I could see them really running a strong brawl
Navi
here, and
is now
we'll see how
giving
the pick van goes with the
FYRSTRAYS
one-sided
Elsa. I don't know how I feel about this, but maybe they think that Gambit is probably better on this map with the maybe what's that character chat? Star-Lord. I don't know how I feel about this, but we're gonna watch this. They're probably gonna save Star-Lord. Or
Navi,
Daredevil, one of the two.
Want one of two things, the Elsa or the Gambit, and you saw how important
Or Rogue.
Crook
Rogue
was,
with
level
Gambit,
1
very
Crook
good
was on
tank.
Museum of Contemplation and just the team play around it, but also his solo playmaking ability. It was so hard to dive Crook even on
neither.
Burning
They
Patrol,
went
and
with
he dashes
tank
at the perfect
Deadpool.
time, provides a very important anti-heal, which is already an expensive
They went
utility
with
to
tank
use for a
Deadpool. I think
Gambit, and it gave a strong neutral win condition for Navi, because you know
They
how
have to-
quickly they pounce on those
they have to
anti-heals
ban
once they're
Star-Lord,
thrown out.
right?
So
How-
I'm liking this so far from Navi.
Oh, Venom ban. Okay.
Vanguard Deadpool back for Rajaro once more means that he can continue to be that mid-range threat of poking that really butters things up for Trust Me to make a dive afterwards. And well, it's going to be the
Wow, okay, so Navi is getting Rogue Gambit, and they're also getting
Hey, it's Sloppo's turn to
They're also
deliver
getting
in
a
the
Mantis
biggest of
boost,
ways
and they're
go
also
back to
getting
their
Star-Lord.
tried and true.
I think
Invest in him, and it will pay off. And now, how do you kind of accompany that? Well,
Nice.
the Groot is free, and you have the Mantis for that team up as well, if Flaxo goes to that.
Okay, pivot here into the Luna final ban. I like it from Navi. The real struggles happened when FYRSTRAYS were able to play the Mantis alongside the White Fox and the Luna Snow, meaning that any attempted dives from Navi were getting rebuffed super well with those Charm CCs.
Yeah, you don't want anything to stop your dive once you get it going. FYRSTRAYS. See, it's the Vanguard line that I'm most interested in. It's very much brawl heavy in this first section, but we can focus on the defense because once they leave, they're pretty locked in. As a Thing player, I hate Thing because you really lack range and you lack huge playmaking abilities unless you get your ultimate online. You can farm those up, but you also allow the enemy team to farm up their ults off of you. But the best way to play Thing is being a corner holder. And just maybe being a chaos distributor, running everybody down, popping them up like popcorn is a very fun way to set up your team for success. But is that really the best brawl Vanguard that we've seen from Trust Me? Probably not.
Cosmic Fastball, ready to go. The question is, where is Binary going to throw Damon here? Wholehearted hold of a high ground doesn't seem to be on the cards here for Navi as they quickly surrender it. And this is going to mean that Jerky could be a little bit easy to try and poke down for this pair of hit scans that are approaching high ground.
And to cope for Trust Me, maybe distributing that damage resist amongst the 3 Vanguards that Navi are running once again will be enough. They ran that on Museum of Contemplation first point, and it doesn't matter. And Elsa's going to chunk through all of that.
That is a lot of walls, and Fate found that most of their Ice Arts claps were rebuffed by the greenery that was erected. Navi, are they going to go for a quick recontest here? No, they're actually going to swap over onto the Angela instead.
man, and you get to just set up on the group.
Wait, this is like a...
Isolations are going to be key here. Black's over 40% away from the strangling
This is like
prison.
a free, like,
and
walk
Demon's
in the
going to maybe
park
force
right
them
now.
into a fight that they are not ready for. Watch out for if Demon wraps around this left room and forces somebody into the line of fire, but okay, Navi, we're not ready for that.
The perfect pick straight away. Level 1 Crook is down. Now Trust Me has to try and put their life on the line. On the point does not last for long when faced with this many weapons, and Damon may not have been able to connect with the feral leap. However, the damage has already been done. FYRSTRAYS looking very good here.
And Trust Me tried to fly in and do his impression of the Wolverine, but just got immediately spotted. FYRSTRAYS had their eyes peeled. There's a lot of good counters to Angela here, too, when you have the sleep. And, of course, a Wolverine that can just counterpin you and kind of take you out of that flight. So, Trust Me has to be very economical with how he uses the shield, and that way he's going to bail himself out. He's going to try and maybe take someone off this high ground. Good disengage from Binary. That got real close.
Yeah, the information came through that Trust Me was rapidly approaching his location and attempted to
Boba.
turn this around with the banhammer here. I believe that was from Binary. but I'm
Boba.
not sure onto whom. Seems like
He's
it
laying
might
on my
have been
computer.
the
He better not
Gambit,
turn off my
but
computer.
Just hiding away in the bar for now. Navi are able to recenter themselves and heal up all of their injured members. Out comes the strangling prison. I'm not sure onto whom, but it seems like the follow-up's not going to be there.
Yes,
because
best
a
of 5,
great
chat.
angle's
Best
been
of 5.
found by Navi. Blackso must have been completely shut down with that one.
A nice high ground take from Navi. I was worried about how much progression FYRSTRAYS were getting absolutely for free, because when you run an Angela, you're kind of running a solo Vanguard a lot of the time when it comes to the objective. Like, Trust Me is trying to get a position where he can tackle somebody, so Rajaro's kind of by himself.
Stop trying to bite
So
everything.
that's why Navi lacked so much cart presence,
Stop trying
but
to bite
then once they
everything.
had that power position, they executed. So very good job from Navi to take the time for that to pay off. Now FYRSTRAYS have to fight them for that position, and Blackso does deny that CC from the Angela with the wall.
Good Ironwood Wall usage. Level 1 Crook already forced to disengage here due to Binary's accuracy, but needs to move their way out through the fire and the woods. Jerky was a little bit too low, though. Couldn't really get much in the way of help. Level 1 Crook falling low as well, and this means that now it's time for FYRSTRAYS to begin chasing, but they can't go too far because Binary's fallen low in their own right. An attempt to try and charm. Terror above it all with the damage boost onto that Phoenix. They can't really find much in the way of final hits. Terror going to be chased down now by Sloppo, and the rescue can't come through. Fate was too far away, even with the fate of both worlds. It's not just Ice on the other
Oh,
side.
that's a big
He
ult.
grabs, I think that's 2 Vanguards within, and soon everything is going to be over.
That-
A big
that
crunch
character.
From the Glatrox was himself a nice lunch, and Jerky's going to try and follow in here as well. Letting the devil out on top of the Heaven's Retribution. 2 of the strategists are down.
Nah,
All the
bro.
heals are
Nah,
gone.
nah,
Only
nah,
Jerky
nah. I'm
remains,
glad
and
that
it
we're
seems like
nerfing
this
Bucky.
drive
I'm
is
glad that
more
we're
than enough
nerfing a
to
counter
try
to
and
these
choose
dive
one.
characters, so
Fiery is gonna
this
chase
character
down the
can
remainder of
continue to
Navi.
do
What a
that.
messy
Also, I like the
fight.
ring around the Rosie that
So
Fate was
chaotic
doing.
from Sloppo denying Terra to Jerky, giving a really good refight for Navi, but also that was expensive as hell for Navi. They have nothing left to defend this final point with, and maybe it's also, well, let's see if Trust Me has a good flank angle. You see FYRSTRAYS are watching for this Angela at all times, and if Trust Me lacks impact, it could just be a straight up 6v5 for FYRSTRAYS. They also have 2 old Strangling Prison available with no straddles to contest. So FYRSTRAYS, though, have to go to the end, and they're still on Angela watch.
Blackso would love to go first here, claim the initiative. No one grabbed by the... Oh, that's a real stinker of a strangling prison right there. Blackso is going to be kicking himself for that one, trying to get max range. Instead, it's going to be Rajro trying to turn this one around. Already has debuffed the enemy. Elsa going in with all this Eagles. Sloppo looking towards the back. Wants Terror, who tries to fly away, and Fate's going to have to flee into the ether as well. Trust Me, laid vulnerable. Jerky towards the back. A righteous cross to carve through the Mantis. The bug
When I
can't
watch
stand
Daredevil
up to the
gameplay,
Billy
I
Clubs
feel
of
like
Matt Murdock.
Daredevil players
And
don't know what they're
Rajro will
doing.
be able to stand alone
They're
with
just
quick
literally like
dashes.
smashing
Won't be
buttons
able
and
to
it's
keep this
working.
one sustained for long. A last chance saloon potentially, but no,
I
Jerky
swear,
can't
where's
contest
my
from the
Daredevil
back.
players
That's
in
gonna be
chat?
the
I'm
third
pretty
point
sure you
open.
guys are just slamming buttons and thinking
FYRSTRAYS were very good at watching the flank angles, and as soon as they sensed that Angela was low, FYRSTRAYS pedaled to the metal, and yeah, the Strangling Prison wasn't great. It did force out a lot of cooldowns, like the
Boba.
Rajaro bubble, and for Navi to just kind of back away from the momentum push from FYRSTRAYS. You go into the final point now with
I
3
can't read
minutes.
YouTube chat
Got
right
an
now.
Apex
Boba's ass
Predator,
is in the
but
way.
it's Crook with the initiative, the Raging Royal Flush. When does that get pulled? You may not even need it if Binary's going to be overextended.
Oh, the damage boost onto Terror. Absolutely brutal to try and deal with. Jerky with a selfless swap.
You know,
away from the
a
Daredevil
great
onto
question would
Mantis,
you
realizing
guys-
we need to
what you
fight
guys would probably
fire
like.
with even bigger fire.
Binary's trying to play the Van Pool like a Venom.
What do
like,
you
gotta
guys
go in
like
with
to
the
do
team.
first?
Like,
Do you
Deadpool
guys like to play offense
is
and
a
set the tempo
Vanguard
first,
doesn't
or do you
always
like
have
to
the
play
best
defense
protections,
first?
and you need an umbrella against the storm.
I prefer
of a
defense.
Phoenix.
Oh, we all forgot our spacing, and suddenly the sparks are just chain reacting. and
I prefer
FYRSTRAYS
defense
pull
because if you
in
hold a
from
team,
Lim.
let's
Was
say
that
at first
phase
point, then
zone
you're
for
like,
that?
oh, okay, since we held the team at first point, now
Must
it's
have
our
been the
turn to
wind.
do offense, and now we only know we need to win one team fight, so let's save up all our
FYRSTRAYS, now
ults
they're
and
starting
go in
to
there
look
and win.
panicked from
I
the-
like defense first.
Wait, 1 or 0 man strangling prison to kind of a panic. It's Jeff, or Navi on Navi's side, but they're sitting pretty. Like, they're winning neutral fights just off of Terra picks. Like, FYRSTRAYS need to not overextend. They need to communicate.
Dude, Terra's just standing here doing aim training. He's having the game of his life right now. And closer. Oh, no. Lost their ultimate as well. Oh,
I just like attacking, and then I type FF when I don't get healed.
Absolutely devastating. Navi right now.
Wait,
someone
Emily,
called
I think
Bully
you're supposed to
Hunters.
take over my stream
Nah,
for a
Terra's
second.
hitting his peak. I'm so glad he's on the Phoenix.
I have to
FYRSTRAYS,
go
how do you
try
break out a
the-
spawn when the
the
defenders
thingamajiggy.
can watch you leave out the gates? And you
Chat,
can't even
I'm gonna have to leave
engage
you with Emily real
the
quick. I
eternal
know, wow,
bond,
J3,
'cause
don't
Terra
leave.
just
We love your
one-shots
hair.
you. That is
But
incredible.
Emily has
FYRSTRAYS
to
are
take
trying
over
find
because we
a-
are
instead of
doing
a
an
way
interview
through, a way
on the main
around, and
broadcast for
Rajara's up to
NA.
no good.
All right, debuff
So I just have to go make sure it
temporarily.
works,
The
okay?
Banhammer laid down on Black
What's up?
Toe for now. An Apex Predator. Oh, they're so tight again. They're spacing.
No, I
She's
just need to do it
continually
on
punished by
the
Terra.
website.
Fate only 29% of the way.
I've
to
done
the-
it before.
Okay, does get one. Does get one. That's Terra. That's a good
yeah,
pickup for now.
is
but
your
still
camera
FYRSTRAYS
on?
not in control of the cart. They're getting in close and personal off the back of that Soul Resurgence. No one grabbed thus far by the Glartrox on the callback. It will grab a Vanguard, but it seems like a punishment's going to take a while. It's
I thought you said it was
Rajaro
already
gets
set
taken
up.
down now, and the disengagement from Navi is far from clean. They invested multiple ultimates in that one, but didn't actually get anything. What a reversal of fortunes.
I don't mind FYRSTRAYS doing the one-man strangling prison.
so if
like,
it's already
Terra was
set
the
up,
win
can you come
condition
take
for
my
Navi,
stream?
and you also executed him before the Endsong Inferno came out, which could have bailed Terra out, just like he's been doing through Museum of Contemplation, but that sets momentum in FYRSTRAYS' favor.
Living Bullet is everything. Coming up close to Terra now. This is the important 1 versus 1, and Rajaro is here to make sure that it's not a fair fight. Everyone tries to make a play over to the high ground. Terra still has the Endsong Inferno.
Ooh,
Caution
almost
first onto
one-shot
level
that guy.
Clutch, who manages to get away using the Bayou Bash, and now you've got to look towards, trust me, in the back on the Angela. The shotgun's more than enough. Fate's in no man's land towards the back, but you can't spare the time to chase him right now because of your FYRSTRAYS. You need to stay on the cart no matter what. A Living Bullet ready to go. Sloppo looking for some kind of entry here as Fate is ready to start things. A Banhammer over onto the members of FYRSTRAYS, and Terra hangs above it, ready to strike down onto Terra Firma. No health bars go too low. Who does Fate have within them? Trying to split someone off of the map, but the punishment is already there. Level 1 Crook has fallen on down. Rajaro, inside of the internal bond, is still doing the damage and bouncing for his life and the life of Navi. Deep into overtime. The Apex Predator is good. Moves towards the back. They want to get the Mantis. Slams them into the wall. Jerky's been made into a green paste where a Mantis used to be. And now Sloppo just manages to reign over it all. Finds their counterpart in
Ooh,
Terra.
wait,
Trust me, it's all that remains.
FYRSTRAYS
Flies daintily
pushed
about
it all
point,
the
but he's
way
ready
to the
sting like a
end.
bee as well.
OKWW.
Inside of a strangling prison once more, Terra finds himself to be the #1 target of Black Soul. Despite the Raging Royal Flush, it seems like Navi's
say
running out
hi
of steam.
and
Their
shout out
respawn
each
times
of
get
you.
longer and
I still have
longer,
a
and
game
trust me,
going on,
has
so I
ran
don't
out of
wanna
faith from the remainder of the roster.
bother all the
FYRSTRAYS
other
finish.
viewers.
A full cap on this map is unbelievable. From getting spawn camp to FYRSTRAYS
Yeah,
thriving
you
in
can
those
join
moments. First, you
via
got
my
that first pick
Discord.
onto a strat. Navi tried to defend Terra. That was a big win condition for them. I like that Rajaro
Okay,
bubble on the high ground. That
Okay,
just
then
helped
just
them have
log back
any
in.
kind of footing in this map. But FYRSTRAYS, they just
Log into
full
your
sent
Discord,
it,
then.
and it paid off. Sloppo stepping up big time
Yeah.
and punishing Navi in those moments and kind of giving them a taste of their own medicine after Closer lost the ult, just trying to get out of spawn there for FYRSTRAYS. I like that FYRSTRAYS just stayed composed in a moment where you would start to give
Thank
up when
you.
you're looking at down at a
Guys.
series like this and you're getting spawn camp by
Do
one of the
I
best
like
teams
Cat's
here.
Eye?
FYRSTRAYS managed to
Ooh,
break
I
out and
actually
kick
do.
Navi
I am
in
so
the dirt.
invested
And even
in
just
the
the Apex
drama
Predator on the
right
high
now.
ground was crazy from Sloppo, and
Thank
you
you,
denied Fate from the
everyone.
It's Jeff from claiming too many
Emily,
people.
grab
Binary
Boba?
hunted that Jeff all the way
Uh,
down to the defender's
I think
spot.
Boba's
Like,
actually over
FYRSTRAYS, they didn't give up and they did
Nice
not
stream.
surrender.
Favorite.
I mean, like, it's such a bit of discipline as well to have denied that much from
This is
Fate's
embarrassing.
ultimate when you had to be on the cart for overtime. What a massively handled dodge from remainder
Are
of Fire
so
Strays. And like you said, Binary
tight
was 100%
that,
committed to
sitting
hunting down that
actually
Jeff afterwards.
is giving me a wedgie.
Navi have to try to go towards all
Wow,
the way
Emily,
to
way
the
to make
end of
first
the map.
impressions.
Not an easy feat. And FYRSTRAYS, there's a strong chance they force a game 5 here, but it starts with this
it's
defense. The
laundry
first
day,
point, I
and
think
I
one of
just-
the
I
most
pulled out these
difficult
random
parts of the
shorts
map
that
to
I
get through. A
had.
lot of teams get full
Last
health
time I
here.
wore them
And
was in college,
Navi,
and I
not with
realized,
the
like,
triple
I'm just
strat this time.
big for them now.
But or not with the triple Vanguard, but with the triple
Okay.
strat this time. Trying to pressure the high ground while FYRSTRAYS create shelter around their Groot. And
Hi
I
there,
think
Top
Navi are in
Hat.
control
Yes.
here.
We're
Yeah,
cosplaying
seems
as
like
Emily
Navi,
today.
They have the ability to go for these triple sieges onto high ground. They need to
Hey,
displace Slopper. They
Cargo, hope you're
can't
feeling
allow
better.
Slopper to just sit pretty up there and farm towards the Apex Predator, but great usage of the antis coming through from level 1 Crook does mean that Blaxo is constantly
What's my
forcing
favorite
you up to
Coachella
space.
performance? I actually haven't
And
paid
Rajari
attention
farmed
to
it
that.
towards the ultimate. You have FYRSTRAYS on the
I
back foot. Navi is
was
pedal
just
to the
paying
metal.
attention
You
to
have
the cat
FYRSTRAYS
drama.
sweating.
I
It's
I
time
love all K-pop
to prove it.
drama.
And Hammer sent on
If
out.
a
I think that
band
one
is
might
about to
well be everyone's
disband,
Gritter's fate plays
I
the
become their
optimal here
biggest
with
fan.
the orbs. Level 1 Crook, though, coming close to that Raging Royal Flush. 70% at the moment.
Do I
You
think
just sit
Manana's
back
gonna
and
go
hope they're not
solo?
gonna have much in the way of amplification for this ultimate. But
I
Blasto's
think she
falling low,
wants to.
and
I
Damon
think
was
all the
overextended to try and get the
girls
healing over
do,
onto
but
that
they're
Groot. And look at this,
kind of like
Fire Stray's
Blackpink
disengagement.
individually.
We've got
I don't
80
think
presence
they
on
can
Kant.
do
It's just
solos,
rolling
but like
forward in
as a
record
whole,
time.
they're stronger.
Yeah, and Rajaro is leveling up in record time. We're getting the whole photo shoot over here once again on one of his best heroes, one of the first ultimates to
You should do
come out.
audiobooks.
I mean,
You know,
FYRSTRAYS
Evan, it's
played
funny.
Split and
How
thought
come
they
no
could
one ever asked
converge
Jay to
and
do
pinch
audiobooks?
Navi from all sides, but Navi just took advantage and pushed
Doesn't
one
he call
side,
himself
and
the
they weren't even
songbird
fully
of the
aggressive.
century?
They just zoned FYRSTRAYS, and speaking of zoning, oh my god, FYRSTRAYS got caught off guard there.
Once again, their spacing is being turned against them by Terra. Speaking of which, Terra's falling low, can't quite afford to
Jay
peek into
sounds
this
like
one.
Mickey
FYRSTRAYS
Mouse.
need to reclaim this space. This was disastrous first point. What a snipe off the back of a strangling pigeon. Trust me, just weaves it through. This boy's got motion on the Groot.
Oh god, you're in prison, all right. Not getting
Okay,
bailed out.
Navi needs to
FYRSTRAYS, they need to
relax.
react. They need to counter.
Relax.
Okay, one inside.
I think they're
Scooby
probably
level
gonna
one
win.
Crook, Road focus fire coming through from FYRSTRAYS to try and turn this one around. Akumi Ho unleashed up against the Soul Resurgence from Jerky, and Terra still has something in the back pocket if they need it. It's going to save their own life using the
You
end
heard him
song
say
Inferno, but can't make any
I know.
direct impacts happen, and so it's a little bit less damage than you'd like. Fate decides to bring out their own Kumiho now as level 1 Crook is finally back into the fray, but Sloppo needs to be watched out for here. Has access to the Apex Predator against this many Groot walls. It can be a little bit difficult to get the value, but grabs two strategists. Fate at level 1 Crook are down, and now Sloppo feels the blood in the water, and the sharks are circling.
He sounds like a hummingbird.
And
with
Blackso
half
sets
its
up that
voice
fight
box
perfectly
ripped out.
with the Groot walls. You
Jeez,
were
Lottie,
able to
thank
kind
you
of
for the
push Terra
visual.
out of this fight just based off of that. A lot less damage comes out of Navi, and FYRSTRAYS
Emily,
throughout
can
the
we see the
Apex
mug
Predator
again?
and drop
Yeah.
it. That's all you need to do is sustain and retaliate. And I love that out of FYRSTRAYS.
Yes.
Strangling Prison up next.
Game
with
time, bitches.
Not a strat ultimate to spare for Navi. And there's the initiative.
Emily, which team do you
Once again,
support?
an early go sign.
Well,
This time Blackso gets a little bit more
realistically
value off it, but trust me,
speaking,
still have
I
that
do think
ironwood
Navi's
wall.
gonna win.
So the peel is good.
They're
Back to the
just
drawing board.
stupid
Navi
strong.
just have one less
But
ultimate to worry about.
ever since the beginning
Strangling
of
Prison on
this
the high ground. Okay,
tournament,
Navi.
I've
kind of
always
trying to jump
rooted
scare them.
for the
Full again?
underdogs.
Oh my goodness, both these groups just got having a bit of a patty cake on the counter utility.
I'm gonna have to
Binary's
say
overextending again.
FYRSTRAYS.
He does get bailed out.
I
FYRSTRAYS
did
are down
pray
to
that
clown,
they'll
but
take
then
at least
need to
one
actually
map
get
off of
back
Navi.
and
And they
heal
did that,
back
so
up. This
I'm
is
pretty
scary.
happy.
Navi are pushing them down.
Momentary heal will put on up with Vibrant Vitality. Terra
Hi there,
doesn't know,
CJ.
Terra doesn't know.
Hi, everyone. Welcome
he
in.
didn't elect for critical
And if
information,
you're
now Fate needs to be given
just joining the
protection of the
stream
back,
and
just
you're
a second, Sloppo
wondering,
looks towards you,
whoa,
are
Jay,
deeply in danger.
you're so tall and have
Damon
hair all of a
cannot get
sudden.
inside of the ultimate that came
Yes,
through from
your
the
eyes
Cloak
do
and
not
Dagger, though
deceive
the
you.
Eternal Bond had one less occupant than it otherwise would have liked. Fate has access to
But
their
how
own as
crazy would
well.
it be, guys?
Such a
if
huge defense from
FYRSTRAYS
FYRSTRAYS,
actually
and they're
won
not
this
done yet.
one?
Apex Predator claims
Oh,
for
but then we'll
Jaro.
be in for a
Navi are going
very
to fight
long
through with
night,
an Eternal
huh?
Bond. Both strat ultimates now exchanged.
With the Apex Predator used,
I'm
though.
conflicted. I don't know what I
Hangs
want.
out above it. That's a huge purple, and so the
Hi,
vulnerability
Gen
is
X.
acted upon. The backline falls apart, but Sloppo's in
Emily's
your
voice
backline
reminds
as
me
well.
of a Calm
And
app. Do I
Sloppo's
really?
And manages to quickly get
Thank
away
you.
while the Kumiho is being unleashed by Damon. Vulnerability
Thank
applied
you,
onto it.
parents.
900 HP will not last for long. Sloppo discovered on the backline.
Wait,
Jerky with a
do we
quick
have any
crate to turn this one around.
meditators?
Navi
Any-
able to make something happen
any,
apart from this one portal.
I guess yoga
Using that portal
practitioners or
as
people
cover.
who
FYRSTRAYS
use
have
those
no
apps for
ults and now
meditation.
no Vanguards. This is cooked.
Oh yeah, this one's cooked beyond belief, and Rajra is going to be able to level up even further off the back of all of these selfies available.
Emily,
from
can
the
you
final
tell Jay
hit
to stop
to
gooning over
Rajra
Black
just watching
Cat?
the desperate escapes from the portal. It has to be a
But Jay
reset
is
here
Black Cat.
from
Haven't you
FYRSTRAYS.
guys
It's
seen
gonna all come
his
down to third.
cosplays?
It was so funny watching the sleeves from Znost, and you just have people coming, or from Jerky, I should say, as
Aw,
FYRSTRAYS
thank you, y'all
came in. They
break.
came and slept, so they just kind of were bodies,
Emily, when are the new
barely
IRL
warm
videos
bodies
dropping?
at that point.
Oh, thank
and
you,
those are bodies
Supple.
that feed old charge
I'm
to
actually gonna
NAVI, who
drop
hope to go
one
to the
either
very end. They still
tonight
have to
or
cap,
tomorrow.
fully cap this
I'm
map,
just
and they have
working
less
on the
time than
YouTube thumbnail.
FYRSTRAYS to do it.
It's a very
and it's gonna
late
take every ounce
VOD,
of effort out of
but it's
NAVI, and
basically,
it starts with a good
some of the
strangling
behind the
prison,
scenes
where
from
there's
the
been good
J3
counters from both
tournament.
sides.
Look at the grouping there once again.
It's
Trust me,
late
might be
because
able to try
originally
and
I
punish
thought,
us
you
all
know
with an
what?
early strangling prison
I don't know
of
if
their
there's
own.
like
Terror
that
gets
much
exchanged,
drama
Spider-Man already
going
down
on.
inside of this corridor.
Oh,
It's a
damn.
free flight
It's
for
okay,
Terror.
FYRSTRAYS can still
And
hold
while the
this.
remainder
It's
of
only
FYRSTRAYS
2
have to
more
reset
minutes.
on the cart, they can't afford to
Anything
lose
could
any more free
happen.
distance.
Like FYRSTRAYS are trying to play around binary in these
But then
flank engages.
I
seeing if
made
you can
this,
just
you know,
catch
rough
NAVI
edit for
lacking.
the
Because sometimes they
J3
don't react
tournament's
in time.
vlog, and then I had
FYRSTRAYS
Jay
have had
take a
big
look at it,
wins
and
on
we're
the
like, you know
second
what?
point off of these surprises.
We were
But
proud of
NAVI,
this, so
they watched it all happen. A big
yeah,
terror
we're gonna
cape came
put that
out
out
from
very
Fate. Now
soon.
NAVI have the royal flush to get a big time
You
bank
need to
here.
tell Jay to stop being
Alright,
so mean.
trying
I
to
tell
play
him
early.
all the
They've already found
time.
Binary. The Apex Predator might have something to deal with this one, but it's already been gunned down. Everyone just does so much damage. Rexo cannot stand
Ooh,
up against all of the
FYRSTRAYS
damage
not looking
coming their
too
way.
hot.
A momentary
Ooh, okay.
seizure.
You know
But
what?
trust me, as they lay
It's
down
only a
the
minute and
strangling
43
prison onto
seconds
one
more.
member of FYRSTRAYS, and that is quite the time bank.
Yeah, you almost have a 2-minute advantage if you're Navi, and they made quick work of the first point, but the lesser time bank will be attacking first, so FYRSTRAYS, again, have had really good macro. This was a team that really struggled at the start of the season, but put
Hi
in
there,
so
Vox.
much work to try and contend against the best. I mean,
That's
not
funny
a lot
because
of
I
teams
think
can say
Vox
they've even
means
taken
voice
a map
in the
off
Latin.
of Navi, let alone potentially go to a game 5. So this is still winnable for FYRSTRAYS. I mean,
thank
look what
you,
Shikigami
baby.
did in their
my
matchup when it came down to the
glasses
extra
are
round.
actually
So don't always look at the time banks
blue light
and sign off
glasses
from
that I
there.
got from
FYRSTRAYS can
Amazon.
go the
No
distance.
particular
We'll have to see
brand.
just if they're going to change the game
I'm
plan
extremely
from their
cheap, so I
first
just
round of attacks.
was on
I thought it
Amazon
was gonna be an
and
equal time blank
I
if, FYRSTRAYS
found
had played
these
first
for
better. Getting only one fight at a first
like
point
2 in
Midtown
1.
is, not
Just
good.
something
They-
cheap but
I
works.
think they just played too much to live. They were doing too many disengagements. I would love to see FYRSTRAYS on their second defense actually commit to a couple more fights. and
Jay
maybe get 2
bullies
fights
you.
out of one of the easiest to hold
Well,
points in the
first of
game.
all,
Yeah, the defense of FYRSTRAYS' defense
He-
is that they were split. But
he's
on
gonna
the
deny
attack,
this,
it
but
needs to be
if
decisive,
he
and they're
is
starting to look towards
mean to
Terra,
you
and
guys,
if you can get
you
rid
guys
of
can be
him,
mean back to
you
him.
have a better chance of taking
within
the
reason,
fight. That is
right?
a huge part of the carry potential of Navi. The double Vanguards and Rajaro on the thing. Not expecting to see that in a double Vanguard setup, but with the triple strats.
Thank you,
You're hoping to just
Greasy.
farm up as much of the straddle charge as you can off of this thing.
Now level 1 Crook just put into these very messy positions by things like the raising of the walls. Rajaro manages to get through those rather quickly, but remember, is less
Hi,
vulnerable
Shannon.
to the Wolverine than other Vanguards by being unmovable in so many of these cases. Sloppo just tries to take the one
Yeah,
control on the
Jays
high ground,
are-
and Navi
Jays are a
actually
little
give it up in the
dum-dum.
1 versus 2.
He
They
can-
commit so
he can
much
take a
respect
beating
to that
from you
Elsa
guys.
before Terra flies back up after being resupplied.
And Demon is getting marked, so he can't have as much value in flank with the Wolverine. Navi, this whole comp is designed around stalling, and it's working out perfectly.
Oh, Terra now has the angle, has the damage boost, goes up against Sloppo. Oh, a little bit of an alley-oop.
Oh my
Nice
God.
dodging coming through the other
Are you
side,
done?
And here comes the
headset's
end
back.
song in
Is it?
Inferno.
Is that
And
why
they
everything
burn
is
away
like-
the chances of FYRSTRAYS taking this one. Yeah, it's
No, I had to
close,
come
but
back at
who's gonna
3:30.
be there to
Oh,
catch them?
okay.
A
Your
quick
headset
sleep,
was
but it's a
backwards.
nightmare that's given
Do you-
over to
do you know how to
FYRSTRAYS.
use
The
that?
remainder can't make it to the point, and Navi have a very
Wait, I just
easy
want to say,
win
because I think
condition
Shannon
before
wrote something
themselves.
about Jay being short
Yeah, this
and
was
bald.
not the Shikigami
I think
level
you get
push
that
that
a
we
lot,
thought was
but I
going to
think
happen
you
from
guys
FYRSTRAYS
also
with the
have to
single
remember,
minute, but it was
like,
Navi being
He's
so,
a Bucky one trick.
like such an ironclad defense, playing around their ironwood
okay.
walls,
Why do you
marking
put the
Demon
best
on the
up?
flanks with the Wolverine, being very predictable in that case, having
But I'm
Terra
not a
on the
Bucky
high
one trick.
ground, pretty much untouchable, while
I could beat you with
FYRSTRAYS were
any
playing
character.
more of, okay, let's scale
Anyone.
binary,
I
get
could beat
the
anyone
Deadpool
with
ult
any
as fast as
character.
possible, and see
what-
if we can have early
in your
win
room, I
conditions,
left the
but
camera
no
on, so
high
don't
ground
go in
pressure
there.
meant that Terra was free
Yeah,
flowing.
I have
He
the
was in
camera
that
on. I
flow
gotta go back
state,
in
and he
15
really has
minutes,
reached that
and-
point. You have 3 minutes for this attack. You only need to win
okay.
1 fight, and you're gonna get several ult cycles out of those 3 minutes.
Come
And it's
back,
probably
Emily.
only gonna
No,
take
chat, you
one,
have someone
so
with a lot
best
more
of luck to
hair
FYRSTRAYS.
on the stream. Sorry I had
Navi
to
are
leave
looking
you
close it
guys.
out.
This would be a monumental hold if it could happen.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see if that's
You
going to be
also
the
just
case.
not even need the ultimates. You could just run a triple Vanguard if you're Navi. We've seen that before. If they just wanted to run Rajaro thing down the lane and kind of force FYRSTRAYS off the objective and out of the way. They could almost just win without eliminations if they really wanted to. That's how threatening Navi can
Mickey
be in
Mouse
these
is
neutrals.
back. Ho ho! Why would
Yeah,
you
like,
say such a thing?
honestly, I'm kind of gobsmacked by the fact
That hurts
Terra's
my
been, like, bringing
feelings.
it to Sloppo in like the damage boosted duelist versus damage boosted duelist. There's Phoenix versus Elsa. Jerky just going to roll on out here for maximum damage on the Moon Knight, knowing that it's going to be very difficult to stay on cart for most of FYRSTRAYS here. Already a huge amount of damage brought out by the Terror Cape. The Vanguards are just suffering at the hands of all
Okay,
this.
chat, what did I
Terra's just
miss?
chilling in the back right now,
Wow,
waiting for
I
the
saw
opening to come on.
FYRSTRAYS. Wait,
Not
Navi
to the
actually.
multiple sparks, but
Wait,
essentially
FYRSTRAYS
away.
capped
Rajaro
everything.
just laying down
Navi
a
capped
fist upon
everything
the
back, and this is where we
competition.
are.
Joker's gonna
Wow, I
have to
missed so
to try and
much.
deal with,
This was a
and
great
whereas everyone
game.
just scatters to the 4 wins. It's easy for Joker to try and find isolated targets to knock them off. Binary going to be the first to fall. Next up is going to be Znost. Out comes the Banhammer, but inside of the talons of Khonshu, there's no chance
Wow.
to contest. Navi take the series.
Big congratulations to Navi.
Wow,
They don't
I'm
do it
actually
in a
really
sweep,
surprised
but they
that
do it in commanding fashion there at the
FYRSTRAYS
end,
is
and
doing a great
good
job,
choice
and
of
I
the
wish
Moon Knight
they
to get
took
the
another
ult. There's no
round,
one
but sadly,
contesting
chat,
that, and when you're in one
that
fight, basically
is
zoning territory.
GG's,
That was huge.
and
The respawn
we
advantage
have
is massive for the attackers as well.
Navi
Terra
winning with
another
7
MVP
million, bro. If
performance.
FYRSTRAYS
And
won,
once the sky
7
peaks,
million.
There's just no stopping. You have to throw the whole army at him to try and stop a guy like Terra. Almost 50,000 damage going into extra innings with 20 final hits. This guy is no joke. And you,
Yeah,
the way
but
he can play Elsa,
Sloppo did
Phoenix,
really well as
Stormo,
well. He
whatever
went
that's
34 and 9
demanded,
with almost the
he
same.
will
He had the
deliver
same final hits.
consistently,
Sure,
and that's what I want to
7,000
see
damage
out of
less,
Navi.
but he still did
Legitimately
pretty good
disgusting
for the
performance
Elsa.
from Terra right there.